Well, good evening, everybody. Woo! I'm ready to go. As a man, glad to be here tonight for some awesome racing here in the OB Builders Cup Series in the Moonshiners Racing League. And tonight, we got the D's Lug Nuts Podcast 250 here at Richmond International Raceway, or just Richmond Raceway. It's not international. We're at home. Boy, it's going to be a great one tonight. Glad to be here. So excited to have a little debut here in the Moonshiners Racing League. I'm Eddie Smith, and I will be your host for tonight as we're going to be having some fun here at Richmond. It's a really fast track. The Cup cars have a lot of grip. They have way too much grip, and they're going to have a lot of fun getting around this track. And we'll see who comes out on top, who's going to take the victory here tonight. We've already started qualifying, so we're going to jump right into it in just a moment. But we want to take some time and talk a little bit about where we've been so far. We'll take a look at the schedule. And you can see we're already quite a few races into this one as Richmond down there on the bottom left, April 3rd there. We just had COTA, incredible race. I watched that one. It was a lot of fun. Really exciting. COTA always puts on a good show. And then we got Richmond, Martinsville, a little short track action here in the next couple weeks until we go to Texas. Long schedule, lot of races. We're going to have racing through the summer all the way into the fall and in there in November. So it's going to be a long season. So you've got some time. You've got a little bit of leeway. But if you can get that win early, I think that will be what these guys are trying to do. If they're not in the win column, they want to jump right into it as soon as possible. Let's take a look at your point standings. Randy Mullins sitting atop the standings with no win, but you look at Alex Coffey there in second with Tim Wortman there in third position. It kind of goes on down from there. I expect to see these points really kind of tighten up as the season goes on. But you see Matt Cox, Paul Gallimore, and Kenny Coppola has a win along with Kyle Holden and Chad Sullivan there with 2 wins. He's way back in 14th. So, but those wins really, really important. So who's going to take away the victory tonight? We're going to find out. And, well, as always, we've got to take a look at your track facts. Richmond Raceway, Richmond, Virginia, opened in 1946. One of the oldest current tracks in the lineup at NASCAR. And we're going to be hitting that 3/4 mile track wide open here tonight. And of course, we're driving in the next gen cars. And of course, we won't go over this every week, but I like to remind folks what we're driving. We got the Camry, we got the Camaro, and the Ford Dark Horse. Now that picture is actually a little bit out of date, but man, they got all the horsepower. I mean, just a new type of car. You watch NASCAR, you know exactly what we're dealing with. 5 gears, still that heavy, but they got a lot of downforce, which means dirty air is a big factor in these cars. And I'm telling you, even on iRacing, they do such a good job of making that so prevalent where you got to hang on the door of a guy. Even in a track like Richmond, Richmond is so fast, you're carrying a lot of speed, that aero is going to be important. So you're going to have to position yourself to be able to get to the front, and it's going to be very difficult to pass. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go and check out some qualifying. We've got a lot of folks that have already put down a lap time, so we'll catch up here as we jump on board. And it looks like coming through right here, this is Chris Davis in the number 29 machine, and he has already put down his lap. And take a look at the qualifying times right now. Alex Coffey currently on top of the board. Go on board with Derek Pemberton here. And we got a little camera for him. We'll take a look as he goes down to start his first lap. And one thing you notice right away, right against that yellow line, and he actually gets a little bit loose off of turn 2, and we'll be talking about that all night long. What a time to turn on the camera and see that. He's in the dark. He can't really see, but he could see how loose he was getting on exit there, as he's going to have to reset and start over and try to get that lap back going. You can see him warming up his tires, trying to get them up to temperature. In this next gen car on iRacing, the first lap, you feel like you don't have any grip at all. You feel like the car just won't turn, won't do what you want it to do. You got to get those tires up to temperature, and that's what he's doing. He's really going back and forth, trying to get a good run off the corner. He's already put a lap down, so he's going to have to get all he can get out of this one right here. We'll watch as he goes down in the corner. Shifting down from 5th to 4th. And easy on the throttle. He knows he has to put down a good time here. Going to come down into 3 and 4. Right against that yellow line if you can. And then you got to stomp it here. It's a little bit nerve-wracking coming off of turn 4. There is so little grip the way that the track opens up. And that's good enough for 13th place for Derek Pemberton. So pretty good start for him. We'll see if anybody else on the shade. Yeah, Johnny Shade's out on the track, putting down his lap. Puts down the first lap. We'll see where he can put this number 13 machine. These cars just aren't. They don't drive good right now. It takes about 4 laps, and then they start to really come in. You can push it. You can see coming low off of turn 4. That's important. You don't want to go all the way out to the wall if you can help it. First lap, good enough for 27th. We'll see if he can improve upon that here, right against that yellow line. Being careful on the throttle actually gets loose there, and that will kill that lap time. As he goes down in 3 and 4, he's going to have a lot of work to do tonight in that number 13 machine. Cross the line, see if he improves. Yeah, up to 23rd. You can see that looseness off the corner really did him in. Let's go check out the number 79 of Shane Davis out on the track. Already put down the warm-up lap going into turn 1 and 2. Good looking paint scheme on that 79 machine. I like that. It's not quite showing on the little driver info there, but we can fix that real quick. As he comes off the corner and completes his first lap, 22.234. We'll see where that jumps him up to. 25th. That first lap never going to be that great. We'll see if he can improve. We saw a couple people really struggling. You actually see him bobble a little bit off of turn 2. It seems to be a trouble spot early in qualifying for some of these folks. Now, open setups is something that, I'm sure if you're a follower of the Moonshine Racing League, you're very familiar with as we go on board with Caden Norfrey. But a lot of times, a lot of these leagues are fixed setups, so it's interesting to see an open setup because they're able to run qualifying tape. They kind of trim it out for qualifying, give them a little bit of extra downforce that they can't run in the race. And so it makes these setups a little bit more nerve-wracking, I would imagine. Caden going to complete his second lap. Good enough for 30th. Or excuse me, that's his first lap. Well, completes that lap, and he goes up to 10th position after a 21.898. So, pretty good jump up from 30th all the way to 10th on that lap. So, Caden makes a pretty big jump, and don't see anybody else on the track. So, we will we've got a couple minutes before we will jump into the actual race, get gridded up, and see where everybody's going to start. Yeah, Richmond just going to be incredible race. It's just not a whole lot like a whole lot of short tracks that you're familiar with. You know, Bristol, a lot of NASCAR short tracks are really different, and Richmond is just really unique in how fast it is. The track opens up, and you can see it right coming off of turn 2 right there, how tight it gets. You have to go right up against that yellow line, wrap the bottom. You'll see some guys mosey up to the top side, but coming off turn 2, it really gets tight. And you have to be careful that back end will want to come out as you give it a little bit of throttle. But coming off of turn 4, that is the funny spot because it's way different. The car wants to, you got that little bit of extra to go out, but is it what you need to do? That's always the question here. Do you come off straighter, kind of like you do turn 2, or do you let that car arc out to the wall? And a lot of times, especially in qualifying, you're just gassing it up and doing a little bit of counter steering and praying to the good Lord. So it's such an interesting track. It requires a lot of focus. It's almost like a slot car where you just drive in, and that banking gives you a big old hug as you go down in the corner. And you really have to roll that center the best you can. If you go into the corner a little bit too hot, you'll push up the track, and it'll kind of mess up your exit. So yeah, I mean, that's what these guys are going to be dealing with here at Richmond, and it should be a fun race. And with this many drivers, I mean, we're going to have over 35 drivers here. What a massive field for a short track. I think patience is going to be something that, you're going to have to dig down deep and find. 250 laps, that's plenty of time to get to the front if you're towards the back. You don't have to do it all in one go, and I think that's going to be a real key to trying to get some green flag racing. And another thing about green flag racing here at Richmond, getting on and off pit road here is really difficult because you're already going in the corner. You can see there that pit road wraps around off of turn 4, and you have to get down quick, and you have to let people know that you're coming down pit road. It can be pretty dicey. But qualifying is over, so we will jump right into your grid. And let's see where everybody's going to start tonight. Boy, I'm excited. I cannot wait to actually get some racing. But on the front row is Alex Coffey. And, of course, their cars won't reflect, but that's okay. We'll fix that for next week. But Alex Coffey, Kenny Coppola, and they put their names in a broadcasting channel for me. But I'm still going to butcher them tonight as I get to know folks. Hey, if you're watching back, you want me to fix your name, just send me a PM. I'll get it right, I promise. But first night, going to be a little dicey, but we'll do the best we can. But Kenny Coppola on the outside of the front row. We'll get through this as quickly as possible. Brandon Bike going to be there in third, so I already got a couple PMs already. Matt Cox going to be in the 4th position. In 5th, going to be Barry Sanders and Randy Mullins in the 6th position. 7th, going to be Ryan Huff with Wayne Bowen in the 8th spot. Chris Davis in 9th. Caden Norfrey in the 10th position. 11th, going to be Paul Whitley. Nicholas Casey in the 12th spot. Nick King going to be rolling off in 13th with Hunter Carmichael in 14th. 15th, going to be Derek Pemberton and Warren Young in the 16th position. 17th, going to be Jamison Middlemiss and Garrett Crawford in 18th. 19th, Tim Wortman Jr. and Jeffrey Taylor in the 20th spot. Ed Bowles Jr. and Nicholas Atwood, 21st and 22nd. 23rd, going to be Chad Sullivan and Jared Clark. 25th, Johnny Shade and Shane Davis. 27th, going to be Paul Gallimore and Nigel Christensen in the 28th spot. 29th, Kyle Holden with Darren Mills. Round out your top 30. 31st is Aaron Matthews, Blaine Wilson in 32nd. 33rd, Darren Mullins and Jordan Schmitz in 34th. 35th, John Binder and Dean Motley in the 36th position. And now round out your grid as we are already gridded up, getting ready to get this thing rolling. We'll have a couple pace laps to get this thing rolling as you see everybody rolling off here. We'll take a look at our, I really appreciate a lot of folks kind of jumping in here. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking to put yourself on camera, but definitely appreciate everybody jumping in on cam. We got quite a few of them here. We got Johnny Shade, Randy Mullins, Barry Sanders, Tim Wortman, Alex Coffey, Derek Pemberton, and Nick King on cams here tonight. So we definitely appreciate that. We'll try to get you in as much as possible. And we get to see the emotion. Had the race the other night. It was an exciting guy. Was really hoping to get a win. Was involved in an accident. And you could see the emotion immediately as he goes around. We pull up the camera. We could see just how heartbroken he was. That is what we like to see. You don't like to see him heartbroken. We just like to see the emotion. And then, of course, whenever someone wins and you can capture that emotion on broadcast, it's so cool. So, going to be a fun one as they are they're pacing at the moment. And we'll get this thing 250 laps. Take a look at the race details. You can see next-gen cars open setups, so they'll be able to tweak and work on those setups as the race goes on. Stages at lap 75, 150, and then, of course, 250 laps in total. And they have 6 tire sets, so 1 on the car and 5 in the pits. Going to have to take care of those, even though Richmond, not a terrible track on tires. Well, all right, well, the VSRN debut here in the Moonshiners Racing League, the OB Builders Cup Series, and we're green. As they cross the start-finish line, Alex Coffey with the early lead as he tries to get that track position, keep that car out front. That number 15 machine started right on the front row, and he is not wasting any time starting to pull away. But second, Kenny Coppola and Brandon Bike, they're side by side for second as they come off of turn 4. We're getting a couple laps And all green flag at the moment is we do have a couple of folks. It looks like Derek Pemberton had some sort of issue. He's back off of the pace. And so it looks like he might have gotten a little bit loose, actually having some connection issues as you see him blink out there. But, man, we'll kind of widen this shot out. You can see just how spread out everybody is with double file racing all the way back from about 15th on as guys are trying to move forward and get themselves positioned for this first little stage. His caution is out. And don't really see who it was for. Take a look here on the replay, see if we can find out who that caution was for. Let's say it came from the 8 of Garrett Crawford. Yeah, it gets a little bit loose off the corner of the 21 of Chad Sullivan. He tries to get off of him, just couldn't do it. We'll go take a look here on board. You're going to see it right off of turn 4 here. We'll stay on board with Chad. You can see Garrett really trying to take it easy in the middle of the corner. And then right here, just a little bit of contact, and that was enough to send him around. So, and I think we'll see a lot of those here tonight. It doesn't surprise me, not one bit, to see a little bit of contact like that pretty early as Chad Sullivan goes down pit road. So I think he might be worried maybe about damage, or he goes down and comes down pit road about 5 seconds in his stall. So he might have just been going down to see, maybe get a little bit of fuel, check the damage, make sure there's nothing that's going to hurt that 21 machine. But it looks like just a racing deal. I mean, it looks like Garrett got a little bit loose there. And just one of those racing deals. So a little bit of breather. You kind of got a couple laps to get a feel for the car, what that thing is doing. And, you know, one thing about open setups is that you're able to make changes. It's a cool thing. I think a lot of these guys put in time, a lot of effort into their setups during the week, whether they go through a setup shop, whether they do their own. A lot of times you'll get a setup from a setup shop if you're not a builder, and you'll tweak it to your liking, try to find where that line of, hey, I want to be good on the short run, or I want to be good in the long run. I want to find a good balance. That is the fun part of open setups, I think, is being able to put the time in and see yourself be rewarded with a really fast car. Now, these days, setup shops are really, really good, so you can go out and purchase one. But the ability to be able to change things, tire pressures, in different settings on the car during the race, I think is such a cool thing about open setups, being able to say, on the last restart, well, let's pump up these air pressures a little bit. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more grip with this green-white checkered. Hey, I started up front, car felt good. Go back in traffic, it's a little bit tighter. Let's loosen it up on this pit stop, and let's have a little bit more drive as we come through the field. It's so amazing how a simulation, a computer that these guys are racing on, can mimic what you see in real life. Which is all of those things that I just said. And it definitely happens. You get back there in traffic, the car does not handle as good. You lose the downforce off the front of the car, and it just wants to sail on exit. And that requires you to give it a little bit more throttle. And so being able to adjust on that is a pretty neat little deal. So I usually do a lot of fixed setup series. So being able to get into an open setup, I think is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see how that all plays out and hear how these guys change their setup and work on it as the race goes on. And as always, I want to thank our race sponsor for tonight, D's Lug Nuts Podcast 250. I'm having to be real careful with that one, but definitely appreciate them for sponsoring this race. So go check it out. Go check out that podcast. It could be pretty entertaining. All right, we're getting doubled up, ready to go. A little bit of nerves, that pre-race nerves. You kind of get those out, and you get ready to go back green flag racing. You kind of know what your car is going to do here, and we'll see what they do here on this restart. Green flag is out. Alex Coffey with a great jump. And you see Matt Cox all over the back bumper of the 77 of Kenny Coppola. And you can see that outside does have a little bit of teeth here early. We'll see if that continues as the run goes on, the tires heat up. Will the top side still have the ability to run? Usually you see that top side start to go away as that middle just rolls so much better. But we'll see. We'll see if guys can work on their setup, make it where that outside can work. Now, the beauty of the outside line is that the guy on the inside just can't use the whole track, and a lot of times that is the determining factor on how well you can hold somebody off. And Kenny really trying to hold Brandon off here. And I think, you know, in this scenario, you're not really worried. You're sitting in second and third. You don't have to drive that hard. You can really just, both of you, take your time. Just, hey, if one of us slips, the other one will take the spot, and I'm not going to push my stuff too hard here early. But it looks like Kenny is going to get the run off of turn 2, and he's going to have him cleared into turn 3, but actually going to stay up in that middle lane. So we'll see if he continues to run up there, if he goes right down to the bottom. Go on board with Brandon here. You can hear the throttle traces as he is really letting that thing roll all the way through the middle of the corner. A little bit of throttle to keep the speed up, not drop too much, and then right back on it. And you try not to go full throttle here early in this race until really you feel like you're coming right off the corner. You can just hear how slow they are through the corners, just letting that thing roll. So far, it's so good for these folks. But up front, all single file at the moment as folks have really kind of settled down. We've got a big mover in Wayne Brown so far in the number 12 machine, who is up 3 spots from where he started. So not a big mover, but, I mean, 3 spots is the whole top 7. Nobody has changed position, so Wayne is the only one that has been able to get up through the field. Now, one driver that's really struggling, it seems like, at the moment, or he's just really taking care of his stuff, and that is the number 88 of Barry Sanders. And we got a little cam for him tonight, so we'll go on board and see if he's struggling or if he's just trying to save his stuff. He started in the 5th position, but he's back into the 8th spot, so you never really can tell. Some folks really push it with 75 laps in the first stage. You don't really need to wait around too long. You kind of want to push it here early, see what your car can do. Those stages honestly give you a whole lot of leeway of checking your setup, see how it's racing, how it's going to go, and even make the mistake of pushing it a little bit too hard. As you know, at lap 75, you're going to get a break and get 4 tires. So Barry obviously not having issues, just maybe letting these guys that are a little bit more aggressive get on around him and kind of settle in here in 11th. But your biggest mover of the race is actually Kyle Holden. But Tim Wortman here in the number 83 machine, he has moved up into the top 15. He is he's on the move here early. They've been watching him kind of go up through the field, so we'll kind of keep tabs on those who are really moving forward. But that number 83 machine is looking to be pretty fast. He's laying down pretty similar lap times. Pretty much the whole top 14 is all running right around the 22 flats. Very little variance in lap time, so very, very close. And track position going to be, I mean, it sounds exactly like what you see on Sundays. Up front, got a little battle starting to brew for the lead. Kenny Coppola and Alex Coffey. Kenny, I think he's been the last couple seasons champion. And I'll get to know these folks as we continue to go on. So what'll be fun is the new broadcaster doesn't know who's good, who's a killer, I haven't learned all of their driver personalities just yet, but I have heard that Kenny is really good. And I know Alex Coffey I've known him for quite a while, so I know how good he is. So it'll be fun to see how everything plays out. This season's going to be long. Can't wait to get to know these folks. And right now we're starting to see Kenny come alive here on lap 23 as he is raw over the back bumper of Alex Coffey. Looking out the rear deck lid of Alex Coffey, and I love Alex's camera. Every time It makes me giggle a little bit because I just love to see him all over that steering wheel. He's leaning on it, leans forward, and he is all over that thing. So we do have some contact, looks like, going on here, and that will stall this run out as we'll try to see who is involved. And boy, we got a big one back here. Looks like the 59 of Kyle Holden, who was moving up through the field, involved in this one. Front bumper gone, and a few other drivers. So we actually had a pretty big wreck there. As we'll take a look here on the replay and see what happened. I noticed it. The whole screen lit up red as somebody makes contact up here. We'll see who it is. Oh, gosh. The 24. Who was that? Nick King. Like a darn helicopter out there. Let's go check this out. The 24 was all kinds of out of shape. We'll see what happens. Does he get loose off the corner? Yeah, it just spins the rear tires, and he tries to lock it down. When he does, though, he comes back out on track. Oh, and somebody tries to miss him. It's like number 1, it looks like, or number 11 of Paul Gallimore comes in like a rocket. My goodness. Massive, massive wreck. As we'll try to go back and see what happened. My goodness. Going board with Paul here as he's going to see it all happen. And you see, Nick does have it saved, but yeah, I think Paul wasn't aware just how quickly or how little he was moving. It's so hard to see on board with Paul here as you'll see the car sitting on the track, and then it starts to come back out in front. And I think, yeah, I mean, he didn't know. He just thought the car was going to come up, and he tried to make a move there. And unfortunately, the 24, Nick Keene, had it woed up, and man, just massive, massive contact. We'll go back a little bit. Let's go on board with Nick King as we watch how he goes flipping through the air here. Holy cow. Down into 4th gear. You're here. Just loses the rear tires. He's trying to save it. A little bit of 2-foot smash, trying to get it woed up, and then at the last second. Just massive, massive contact. Back up front, no takers on pit road so far. The only person that came down and from what I could tell, took tires, Aaron Matthews in the number 5 machine. He was running towards the back. But nobody other than the folks involved in that wreck came down here, which makes sense. You kind of want to run this one out to the stage. You know you're not going to go a lap down. Tires here early, I think, would be a massive mistake. So everybody, you know, even Aaron Matthews and Dean Motley, you know, you don't really know if they came out and took 4 tires. They took a 14 and 15-second stop. Usually that is a 4-tire stop, but they may have just come down for repairs. But we got a few folks that are out of this thing, most likely. Ed Bowles Jr., he is he's been on pit road for now over a couple minutes. So is Paul Gallimore in the 11, which we have talked about that, and then Nick King in the 24. Their race is likely over. They'll try to get that damage fixed, get back out there and get as many points as they can. But man, what a tough way to go out. And I mean, you got to feel bad for Nick. He had it saved, and then just a bummer to see that type of stuff happen here. But we are getting ready to go green. Alex Coffey, Kenny Coppola going to be your front runners. And we'll see if those tires starting to fade on that Alex Coffey machine or if he's just taking his time. We'll see on this restart. Pace car is off. Lap 29 at 250. We got a long way to go. Big jump. A big Denny Hamlin style jump out of Alex Coffey. He was in the box, though. And he's able to get out front here early, and that's what he needs to do. But Kenny already on the charge down into 1. That number 77 machine is looking strong, and he's actually looking to the inside off of 2. Not quite able to make it work, but he was super close to be able to make that thing. What kind of camera angle is this? Who knows? But Kenny gets right on the back bumper, so we basically continue where we were before. It seems like Alex starting to fall back just a little bit. Kenny really on the hunt, and he is looking down to the inside here, going to poke his nose down in there. Alex gives him the wide entry, says, hey, if you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead. I'll fight you off of turn 4. So Kenny gets that. We got some drivers slow on the track. We'll see if a caution comes out of that. We'll stay here on the battle for the lead, though, as Kenny is all over the back bumper of Alex Coffey here. Now, Kenny Coppola does have a win on the season. Alex Coffey looking for his first win of the season, and I know he would like to get that out of the way. He's doing the best he can, but you could see he's starting to pull everybody else in, and Kenny kind of stuck behind him at the moment. It definitely seems like Coppola is a little bit faster, but it's really hard to say. I know Alex is a crafty old driver. He knows how to work a race. You know, if you get out there, if you know some guys who are really fast who can win races, you don't need to go out there. Kenny really rolls the center there, and Alex has to kind of woe him up on the exit so he can't get the run. But there's no reason to go out and win by 10 seconds if that only means you're going to burn your stuff up. So you have to manage it. You have to say, okay, I got to keep my competitors in my rearview mirror. I've got to, you know, if I see somebody who might be good at saving tires, I need to keep them around me. I always make the joke that if somebody who's really good at saving tires and I go by them and just pass them like it's nothing and then drive off a second or two, I start to get worried. I start to think, my goodness, maybe I'm making a mistake here, because they seem to be taking it pretty easy. So we'll see. But right now, Alex Coffey's doing a great job of defending for the lead. Now, Kenny's going to have a tough time of making this work, and Alex, obviously very good short track racer. I've seen him on short tracks. He knows exactly what to do. And when somebody is on the hunt like Kenny is, really what you do is slow down your middle. You enter in, you go right down to the bottom, and you kind of get slower in the middle than you would like to run. That way you can get on the throttle. They have to check up, and then you can drive off the corner with all that momentum. So that's exactly what it looks like Alex is doing at the moment. And Kenny just trying to figure out a way to get the run. Now you see Kenny going to go up a little bit. Now he's going to try to cut the exit of the corner, enter in a little bit higher as we got some lap traffic out in front. And Kenny's trying to enter in high, drive down off the corner to get the run he needs down the straightaways to get position on Alex Coffey as they try to get around all this lap traffic, and they're able to do that with ease. And great job by the lap traffic there of getting out of the way and not being a part of this lead battle. You're frustrated. You're taken out before lap 50, before the end of stage 1, and you're going out there trying to make sure you can get some points. It's frustrating, and it's easy to let that kind of get. Here we go. We got Kenny looking down to the inside. He got a great run off of turn 4, down into the middle of 1 and 2. Let's see if he can hold it on the exit. Gets a little bit loose, and Alex able to hold on to it, but Kenny going to come right back to him. And I'll tell you what, this is a great battle. Kenny doing all he can. You could see just how difficult it is to pass, and that's going to be something that you're going to deal with all night long. And Alex Coffey knows that. So him giving up the lead, you think, well, why didn't Alex just let him go and, you know, just let him have the position? That'd be nice. Yeah, it would be nice, and it would probably end your ability to win the race down the line. You do not want to give up track position for free. You want to make them work for it. And I think Kenny knows that, along with Brandon and Matt Cox, and they're appreciative. They're getting pulled right in to this battle. So really good racing here early. As you see, Randy Mullins back here starting to join the party. Now he picked up a spot from where he started, but he has been slowly reeling these guys in as, we got a battle for the lead now as Kenny goes back down to the inside. Let's see if he's able to hold on to it, trying to give Randy a little bit of love, but maybe we got to go back out to the front as Kenny gets down to the inside. Didn't get a great run, but able to stay near him and come off of turn 4. Alex Coffey puts the power down, but Kenny is on the attack, and he is going to work on him here and try to get that position and get the lead. Alex continues to fight on the outside, and he is not giving an inch. And as the run goes on, this outside line is pretty strong just because and Kenny's doing a great job because the natural thing for Kenny to do here is to get on the gas too early and try to make this pass, a couple laps before you normally would. But there has to be patience on the throttle off of the bottom because that car will get loose, especially off of turn 4 here. And Kenny's showing a lot of patience trying to make this pass. But he is really putting the pressure on Alex Coffey. You can see here just the run that he gets as they're shifting down into the 4th. He's getting back on the throttle, getting really good through the middle off. But you see, he had to lift just a little bit. Got on the throttle a little bit too soon, and that hurt his run on exit. But he is getting into the corner so much better than Coffey. And then right here off of turn 4 is where he's been so strong, be able to keep up with him. And right there at the gear shift, Kenny has got a nice little run going into the corner. But still not quite able to make that pass. So patience is going to have to be something that Kenny continues to work on. And at some points at certain tracks, there's nothing you can do. You get to the back bumper of the guy, you know how good he is. You try, you give it a good college try, and you say, okay, the outside is going to be a little bit too strong here on these old tires. Well, let me just ride right here on your bumper. It's my favorite thing to do in iRacing. Is say, okay, you're going to hold me up? That's fine. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ride right on the back bumper. I'm going to give you a couple 0Xs and let you know that I'm there. And actually, Alex gets a little bit loose off of turn 4. So Kenny, now with a bigger run down into turn 1, going to try it again down on the bottom, see if he can make it stick. As Coffey starting to fall away just a little bit. But gets a great run off of 2, and he will hang on to that spot. But, yeah, I think if you're Kenny, you just get right on that bumper. You lean on him. You make him nervous. Make him watch that mirror and try to bait him into a mistake if you can. Because the only thing you can really do is try to force the issue. We've already talked about you do not want to gas it up too much and end up going the wrong way. We've already seen that out of a couple drivers. So, Kenny doing a great job. Back here, we do have some battling going on. We got somebody, oh, my goodness, a 29 of Chris Davis. Spinning down to the inside, no caution, as he gets really loose off the corner, and he will lose a ton of spots. Started in the 9th position, now he's all the way back to 30th. And we'll take a really quick look, if we can, to see what happened between all of that. It seemed like it was happening in front of him. No, and caution is out now. We'll take a look at this right here and see what happened to the 29. You can see him just get loose off the corner. And goes around. And it looks like it might have been Chad Sullivan that went around. Let's take a look and see if we can maybe see what happened to him. 21. Don't see anything just yet. I don't have a... Coming off the corner, we'll see if maybe there was something extracurricular after that wreck. Maybe guys checking up. Well, there it is. The 21 goes around, gets loose. The same thing we've seen all night. Turn 4 being a treacherous spot. And there's where the caution came from. Chad Sullivan gets loose, and that was enough to bring out the caution. Well, I know that the 29 here, I know he is thrilled. Chris Davis loves to see that, as he was going to lose a ton of spots and possibly go a lap down depending on how bad those tires were. So he's going to get to come down, kind of get saved here under this caution. So guys really struggling with the grip off the corners. We got quite a few drivers down pit road. We've got Chad Sullivan obviously coming down pit road. We have Jared Clark, Kyle Holden all coming down for service. And we've seen some 4 tire calls here with just 20 laps to go in this stage. Some folks taking their first set of tires. Like Ryan Huff came down and fixed some damage in the 93 machine, Jordan Schmeets comes down for his first 4 tires of the night. Darren Mullins, 4 tires as well. Darren Mills is now in. Jared Clark. All those drivers coming down pit road, and it looks like they're taking 4 tires. So maybe an opportunity to flip the stage here. We got 20 laps to go before the stage is over. So you wonder if maybe they're trying to flip the stage. Maybe the tire wear is not so bad that you can, stay out for about 20 laps here, drive around, take it easy, and then try to flip the stage once we get to lap 75. But so far, so good. I mean, really nice race. A good battle up front. I know we've been spending a lot of time up front, but I hate to miss a battle for the lead. So we try to keep an eyeball on it. So we'll try to get back and check some other battles, especially some that are interesting as the race moves on. But, been a really clean race. A few of the cautions have been just guys losing it by themselves. And pretty much all of it's been that way. One contact that kind of stacked up the whole field, but so far it's just been an ill-handling car, especially off a turn number 4. And that's going to be a problem area all night as the sun goes down. We'll take a look at the weather here and see what the track temp is. I mean, that is an ice cold track, 73 degrees. That is barely any heat in the track. That means the track's really gripped up, but it just takes a while for the tires to get up to temp. And make it really hard to pass. We've already seen that be an issue. So we've seen Alex be a little bit slower than Kenny, but if the track was 130 degrees, it'd be a lot worse on that little battle. All right. Gonna have just under 20 laps to go for this stage. So we can get the stage win here. Green flag is out. Coffee out to an early jump, but Kenny not too far behind. Kenny going to be able to clear the number 1 of Brandon. And then Matt Cox going to look down to the inside of Brandon here as they go down into turn number 1. You can see these guys still on those old tires. They did not come on pit road. 1st through 19th, all on 60-lap old tires. Right now, the first person on those tires is Ryan Huff, and he has already made up a spot. We'll see just how big a deal those tires. Oh, as he bounces off the wall, make a little bit of contact as they go down the front stretch. My goodness. Those tires must be feeling really good because they putting the car to work. Trying to pick up, looks like Nicholas Casey might have had some damage. Oh my goodness, they make contact. The 16 and the 8 make contact, and Ryan has to make an evasive maneuver. They're 3 wide back here. This is for 20th position. If you want to know what it looks like at the back of a cup race, this is exactly what it looks like. Guys fighting and all over the place trying to get every position they can. We've got a mixture. This is sort of where it all comes together, where the tides meet the beach, because you've got the older tires versus the new tires right here. And so Jamison Middlemiss in the 8 and Garrett Crawford are in the 16 and the Garrett Crawford in the 8. They are the last ones on old tires, and you can see they're really got their hands full, these guys that are trying to work their way back up through the field. And right now, I mean, Ryan Huff running quite a bit similar to the leaders. He doesn't have to push too far, especially if he expects to flip the stage. But he is already up to 17th position. He continues to push forward here. You can see the run. He got off of turn 4. Going to look down to the inside of Derek Pemberton, and you can see just how much better new tires will roll through the center. And the launch off the corner is just so good, and he is on a march at the moment to go to the front. Up front, it hasn't really changed. Alex Coffey still in the lead, and Kenny still just pestered him, just all over him, saying, hey, I'm here. And Alex really trying to hang on to that stage win. As you see him give a little shove there, now it's, pushing is coming to shoving. As you got guys fighting for a stage win, you want that stage win. You hear somebody get into the wall there, so, man, intensity is going to pick up here at the end of this stage. Those stage wins are so important. And Kenny has got Brandon all over the back bumper, so Kenny really needs to go at this point. But you see Alex kind of, he parked it on the corner, and Kenny gave him a little bump. Now he's going to go down to the inside. He says it's time to go. Kenny, this is the best he has been out front all race long. We'll see if he can make the pass work, and he does. So Kenny Coppola goes out to the front. Alex Coffey going to drop back to second. Now he's under fire from Brandon Bakey. Man, I'm sure I'm butchering that. You can probably hear me dancing around that name. We'll message him after the race. We'll make sure it's right. But now he is all over the back bumper of Alex Coffey as Kenny starts to pull away. You can see Alex really struggling here at the end of this run. You wonder, Alex going to try to just hold steady, not lose too many spots here. But you wonder if he's not already thinking about some adjustments he can make to help with that long run, as he has really struggled here in the last 20 or so laps on these tires. And now he's stuck up on the outside. He's going to fight like you know what. But these guys are going to start lining up. So he's going to continue to fight. The one kind of pushes up in the middle of the corner. They almost make a little bit of contact, but off of turn 4, Alex still has the position, but it is starting to fade very, very quickly. And Kenny Coppola is just loving this as he is out to a 0.7 of a second lead. That's the biggest lead that we've seen all night. Man, great racing here in the OB Builders Cup Series and the Moonshiner Racing League. And I'm already really enjoying it. I mean, the cautions there have been a few, but this has been some pretty awesome racing. And I don't know where to click. I mean, there's racing going on all over the track. And right now, just trying to watch this front group and see if Alex can hold on to the second position. He is fighting. I mean, if he continues this and he can keep this car rolling off the top like he is, I mean, at worst, he'll get third place. And you can see, actually, Matt Cox going to roll up to the outside, and he's going to put pressure here on Brandon down on the inside, trying to follow the 15 through. There's really nowhere to go, but just kind of fill the gap. Now he's going to drop down to the bottom, cut off the 54, Randy Mullins. Alex still holding strong on the outside. I think he's going to be able to hold him off. Seems like that 15 doing a pretty good job. The one kind of pushes up in the middle. You can see that right front starting to fade on the one as he's really struggling on entry to make that work. The crossover on to lap 74. And this will be fun for me. Some folks, as soon as the leader crosses the line for lap 75, they throw the stage brake. Sometimes they have to go all the way around and cross the line. We'll see how they decide to do that. But going down into 3 and 4 here, Alex Coffey was able to get clear of the one. And as they cross the line, Kenny Coppola should take the stage win. We'll see when they throw the actual caution. Nothing yet, so got to apologize if I don't know some rule. If they don't throw cautions for the stages, I don't know. I guess we'll find out because there is no caution here for the stage. And there it is. So, yeah, it looks like they go around and complete the whole lap and let the whole field complete it. But there's your stage winner. Kenny Coppola in the number 77 machine was very, very patient and came away with that stage win. Ryan Huff on those new tires was able to get up to the 11th spot. George Schmeets up to 14th. So those guys were able to make some ground up. So we'll see. We'll see if they decide to come down pit road or they want to flip the stage here. It'd be really tough to burn a second set of tires here early. So we'll see what they decide to do. Well, Alex Coffey was able to hold on to that spot, come away with the second position. Matt Cox in third and Brandon in fourth with Randy Mullins in the top 5. But now it's all about pit stops, getting on and off pit road. Get down into your box as Kenny Coppola are going to lead us down. It looks like the drivers who did pit about 20 laps ago are going to stay out on track. Well, Jordan Schmitz does. It actually looks like Ryan Huff is going to come down pit road and get, if not fuel, maybe 4 tires. We'll see. But definitely 4 tires and fuel for these top drivers. We'll watch this battle off of pit road. As it looks like Alex Coffey wins the battle off pit road. So 15 able to get that position back on his pit stop. Well, I'm going to bring our stage winner up in here. Let's see if we can get him. He's in. Okay, I want to see where he's at. We'll get him up into the chat. We'll try to talk over him so he doesn't give away any secrets. But Kenny Coppola is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
How you doing, Eddie?
Man, well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you focused on your race, but you were able to get the stage win, and you've had to be patient doing it, trying to get around Alex Coffey. But that car, man, it looks hooked up, ready to roll. That beast looking solid. Tell me about the car, and tell me about that first stage.
Man, this thing feels like a rocket ship. I was kind of just trying to save tires a little bit early in the run and keep pace with Coffey. He looks pretty good out here tonight as well, but man, is it hard to pass here. I worked my butt off to try to get around him, had to back off and cool the tires down a couple times, and then finally he got loose out of 4, and it gave me enough momentum to pinch him off enough entering 1, but some really fun racing there with Alex. We both kept it clean and raced hard.
There you go. Well, still a long way to go, but congratulations on that stage win. I'm going to let you get back to your team so y'all can continue to discuss and get everything back rolling, but good luck the rest of the race, Kenny.
Appreciate it, Eddie.
Well, there you have it. Your stage winner, Kenny Coppola, already. I mean, he sounds confident. He sounds like he is ready to roll, but now the interesting part of this is we're going to have Jordan Schmitz, up front. Came down 26 laps ago. Now, how much did he push those tires? Him, Chris Davis, and Shane Davis all stayed out under this caution. So we're going to see just how big a deal those tires are going to mean. I thought there would be more folks who would actually flip the stage, but only these 3 are going to do it. So should be interesting up front. Alex Coffey going to have to be careful. These guys behind him are going to be pressuring him and Kenny. And we'll see just how off the pace these tires are. And we talked about it early in the race. Top 20 was right within a tenth of each other. So this may actually turn out to be a pretty good strategy call, just depending on how tough those tires have been abused. And we saw the 29. He was going down through the infield, spinning at some point. Now he's up front. But Jordan Schmitz going to lead us down into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, and he is going to get away quickly. As Shane Davis is going to be one in the Hornets' nest for sure. Alex going to go way up the track, looking to maybe make it 3 wide, but Kenny going to go down to the inside. He's going to be kind of stuck behind these guys. You can see the difference in tires, and it will really show itself in the next lap as the tires do get up to heat. Up to temperature, I mean. So in the next half a lap, you're going to see a big difference in tire wear, even after 30 laps, I believe. Right through the middle of the corner, you'll see them roll the corner, and you can see Kenny all over the back bumper of the 79 of Davis. And here, Alex Coffey's going to get to the outside. He's going to try to make that outside work, and I think that's a smart maneuver for the 15 as he gasses it up off the corner. Going to get to the outside of the 79 to take over the 3rd position, but caution is out. It's like Aaron Matthews and number 10 of Warren Young sitting sideways on the track. And another caution here after a restart, and those cautions definitely continue to breed cautions. Let's take a look, see exactly what happened to the number 10. Going down into the corner, yeah, just a little bit of contact out of the number 18. And Blaine Wilson makes a little bit of contact as he was definitely there. We'll go on board here. Watch from the 18's perspective. The 10's going to have to check up just a little bit here as he's got a couple drivers beside him. He checks up early. Blaine's going to kind of stick the nose in there, and it's, you know, it's hard to say. As a broadcaster, I don't want to assign fault for these drivers. I let you, the viewer, kind of decide that. And so I'll let you decide in chat who's at fault there. But it just seems like some hard racing guys fighting for the same position. And unfortunately for the 10 of Warren Young, he was the one that goes around. And honestly, everybody does a great job. And I'm sure Warren is very happy about that. Everybody did a great job of getting around him and not making contact. That could have been way worse. Well, so far so good for Jordan and Chris Davis. Shane Davis actually going to hold on to that third position. It looks like Alex, at the moment of caution, when they go back to the scoring loop, did not have that position. So the top three hold steady on those older tires. They have to get to lap 150. That's going to be the big test. That's going to be a long time. That's going to be a long, long time. I mean, the longest. I mean, they didn't run 75 laps on the first run. They only ran about 50 laps. They're going to have to go the full stint on this stage if they continue to stay out. So we'll see if those tires hold up for that long, or if we get a caution pretty close, maybe they'll come in and take tires. And, of course, we have seen the strategy before. When guys flip the stage, it's a track position game. It's a decision to try to gain some track position at the cost of, yeah, I'm going to lose a couple spots, but I gain, overall I gain positions, and I get a better part in the field, which Kenny talked about passing being so difficult. So that could be a net gain for sure. But what these guys might have done, gone out after coming down and getting those 4 tires, go out and just drive around at half speed, knowing in 20 laps you're not going to go a lap down. Just drive around barely, putting around, not putting a whole lot of pressure on those tires. And if you could do that and do it well, you get up front, and you've earned a lot of track position. So, I mean, stage racing does, I know a lot of folks don't like it, but I think it does really add a lot of strategy that hasn't been there before. You really have to pick and choose when you take tires, and having a tire limit also kind of adds into that strategy play. So far, so good. I mean, if they can keep this up, they seem to be pretty quick. They'll be in good shape. Want to thank our sponsor again tonight, D's Lug Nuts Podcast. Go check them out. I'm going to have to go check them out and listen and see what they got going on. But definitely appreciate them sponsoring this series, the D's Lug Nuts 250. Definitely appreciate them. Of course, OB Builders for their sponsorship of the Cup Series. But getting ready to go green here. Jordan Schmeets out front. And you're going to get a great launch. There's a little bit of confusion back in the back, but they looks like they get it sorted out for now. As Jordan going to get away. Oh my goodness, a 29 goes around. Chris Davis, I'm trying to click him. He's falling through the he's falling through the field so fast. But Chris Davis goes around one of those drivers on those old tires, and we'll go back and see what happened to him. Outside the front row, you had Alex Coffey behind him. Does not get a great restart. And Alex Coffey going to go in, try to maybe get to the inside of him. And, yeah, just a little bit of contact between him and Coffey. Watch on board with Alex here as he's peeking down to the inside. And, yeah, just gets in a little bit too hot maybe. I don't know. He can obviously drive the corner a little bit faster than Chris can. And unfortunately, just a unlucky break for Chris Davis is now all that track position is going to be gone. you're going to come down pit road and likely go ahead and get 4 tires here. He slid those tires and got a little bit of damage on the front of that Toyota. No fast repair here tonight, so you do not have a free car when some series have a fast repair. And, you know, I think overall, I think not having a fast repair is really good. I think it adds to, yeah, you would like to be able to come in and get a free car after a mistake, especially something that wasn't your doing, and get a fresh, you know, car. But, you know, if you're trying to go for realism, if you're trying to go for a sim feel race like the guys on Sunday do, they don't get a free car, and so you have to think about those things. It makes you race a little bit differently. Sometimes you're going to be on the bad end of it, and you're going to get junked, and it's not going to be your fault, but that happens in real life. And I think overall it makes the racing a lot better when you don't have that fast repair that you can lean on. But looks like Chris was able to get a good amount of damage. Saw that front bumper pop out. Still got a little bit crinkled in there, but he really didn't get that much damage. Not a lot of contact was made, so. Well, still a long way to go in this race. Got quite a bit of time. Left in this one, not even halfway, 93 out of 250 laps. And we still have quite a few drivers. We got 29 drivers on the lead lap. John Binder he's on pit road at the moment. He is the only driver 1 lap down. And you got Chad Sullivan in the 21. He is 3 laps down along with Kyle Holden. And then you got Paul Gallimore there's 4 laps down. Nicholas Atwood 8 laps down. And then you got some drivers that are still putting around, but obviously really struggling. And Ed Boyles and Nick King not having a great night. And at this point, Jordan and Shane actually are loving this, as the more laps you run under caution with older tires, I mean, you get to keep your position. So they get to run 1-2. Jordan's going to get a great restart. And they keep having cautions. He might get to the end of the stage with these older tires, and he'll be a setup. Or he won't be a setup, but he'll be able to kind of break even here and hold on to the track position. Man, he gets a great jump there. Shane Davis, though, does not. You see a whole line of cars kind of jumble up here on the top side, but now Kenny Coppola is going to get through. As that top line, Shane did not get a great jump and is not having a good restart, as he's going to lose that second position, and Kenny already on the move here. And look at the jumbled mess back here. Shane on those old tires, just trying to hold on there. They got contact back here in the back. With the 82, a couple other drivers, a 74, a Paul Whitley, and a track blocker here on the backstretch. Jordan Schmidt's got a big old smile across his face. He's going to get another 6 to 7 laps under caution where he gets to be the leader. Working out great for him. Take a look, see if maybe we can find out what happened. We'll watch the 74 here. He's 3 wide. Oh, man, and the 64 of Darren Mullins gets loose, and that's really where all this started. And everybody just kind of piles in as they try to miss the wreck, but it all started here with the 64 machine. Just going to get loose off the corner. I think that just made everybody nervous. Oh, he actually gets some help from the 82 as he, I think, comes down the track off the corner. See if we can get a little bit better view of that. When I said better view, that's not what I meant. Down to the corner, and we'll see. As he's going to come off the corner, yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, they were just kind of going to the same spot. You can see bumper cars once all that happens is, man, we got to just pile in there. Which that brings out another caution. So we are under what I believe is caution number 7 here tonight. So we are going to be here for a while if this continues. And we had a nice little green flag run, especially towards the end of that stage. We'll see if we can continue that trend moving forward, but it is it's getting a little messy at the moment. Well, let's talk a little bit about some stats, and really this is going to be me learning stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about what we got going on. I mean, right now, you know, some of your more consistent drivers, Randy Mullins, obviously with 0 wins, but he's got a 19-point lead over Alex Coffey in the point standings, and that's really impressive. That is showing a lot of consistency, and currently he's running in the 6th position. Has been running near in the top 5 all race long. He is going to continue that trend. He's got 80 bonus points on the season. That's really, really why. I mean, that's really impressive. That is a lot of consistency, but you kind of, it never feels great to be in that position because you really want to win. You want to get up there and get a victory. That really makes the difference. Being able to get across that hump and get that victory. And so Randy trying to hang on right now in 6th position. And try to hang on to the lead, see if he can get up there and get a win here tonight. I mean, if you're running up front, you're scoring a bunch of bonus points. Eventually, a win's going to come, but you just never know. And man, you just really want to get that thing over early if you can. As far as top 5s, the only other person that's had as many top 5s as he has is Aaron Matthews. He's got 3 top 5s on the season, which just shows how competitive this series is at the moment. 7 races in, and unfortunately for Aaron Matthews, he is back in the 19th position. We saw him get involved in an incident or 2, so that top 5 streak is definitely in jeopardy. Kenny Coppola does have a win, but and he's got a ton of bonus points, but he's obviously had a couple tough races that's put him behind the 8 ball, and he is looking to try to kind of get that back focused here tonight. As they go back into the restart zone, Jordan Schmitz with a great jump, and here comes Wayne Brown down to the inside of Kenny Coppola. If he can hold that all, try to get that 2nd position, but Kenny just drives that thing down to the corner. He'll hold on to that top spot, or 2nd spot, excuse me. As we continue to watch Shane Davis fall like a rock, and you see that top line really bottled up behind him. Alex Coffey kind of stuck back there, nowhere to go, kind of bottled up, and we got yet another caution, and Warren Young goes around the 17 of Nigel Christensen is involved, and I really can't see who that is out on the track. It looks like Jamison Middlemiss. And make a little contact here on pit road. We'll see. Back and check another replay. We need to sponsor the replay. They'd be in good shape. And James Middlemiss is way back here. See, maybe where this started, maybe with Warren Young. Yeah, he gets loose in the number 10. Oh, man, that's been the tail of the tape. He goes up, just clobbers Nigel. And then right at the end, oh, man, pinball. James Middlemiss. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm sure it's been beat to death, so we ain't gonna say it. Watch as Jamison just barely clips him. He was gonna miss it if he didn't make that contact right there. You can just see how difficult it is to see on board with him. You can see he can't really see anything. He doesn't know where the cars are. The wreck is happening, but he just sees, he checks up. He's gonna go high, just makes contact and pinballs him right into the 17. And man, tough break there for those drivers. But the 10 just gets loose. Warren Young there on that that deal, and And I think with the way the track temp is being so cool, I really doubt that it's an aggressive setup thing. I think when you get back there in the field, especially after a couple restarts, you're trying to make up a little bit of ground if you can, especially towards the end of the stage. You give it that extra little bit of throttle. We've talked about that all night long. That's going to continue to be a problem. Is you come off the corner, you're trying to make that pass, you're trying to move forward, and you give it that little extra throttle, and once it starts to break loose in these next-gen cars, it is very difficult to hang on to it. We saw a driver earlier in the race trying to save it, and he does a good job. I believe it's a 24, and he actually 2-foot smashes, which is something that's been around on iRacing for a long time, where you get that car loose, you can actually push the throttle and the brake down all at the same time, and it'll straighten that car out and keep it from spinning out. But we've already seen what can happen, and when that happens, you basically come to a stop on the track. So there's ways to save it, especially if you're kind of gotten 45 degrees to the left and start to spin out. You lift off the throttle, it's not going to help you, and you hit that brake, it kind of straightens you up. But when you're in a pack, you're running 2, sometimes 3 wide. If you get loose, you try to 2-foot smash it, and guys are just going to pile in there. Well, we got time. Like to interact with, it's not really professional, but, let me know in the chat room who your driver is, who you pulling for. We already see some folks shouting it out, but we love to see the support. The drivers, they got a live replay, so when they go back and watch this, they can actually see the chat. So if you got somebody in the race that you're cheering for, let them know, hey, let's go forward. You're running too far back. Get yourself up to the front and cheer your driver on. They'll love to see it when they go back and watch this broadcast. So definitely give your driver some support here. All right, getting ready to go green. Jordan Schmitz with another chance at a restart. Kenny and now up into the second position into the restart zone. Jordan going to get a great jump here and actually going to pull Wayne Bowen along with him. So Wayne going to go down to the inside, but man, Kenny really drives it into turn 1. And we see Alex Coffey down on the inside, almost makes contact with the 79. I mean, he just can't get away from Shane. He was stuck on the outside behind him, and now he's on the inside behind him, and so he's going to have to jump in behind Blaine Wilson there on the outside as we got contact in the back. Big, hard lick there, and looks like Caden Norfrey involved. Ooh, somebody coming in after the fact and joining the party. Give your crew something to fix here, as he's not able to get this thing going. He's still sitting on the track. The pace car going to come by here. He's the 20 of Caden going to still be sitting on the track here as the leader's going to come by. See if we can go see what happened to him. $20 running in the top 15, it looked like. We'll see right here. He's got the 3 right in front of him, the 23 on the inside. Coming off the corner, gets into the wall and gets stuck to it, it looks like. And then going down into 1-0, but get a little bit of help from behind. I can't see who that is. Looks like the 23 of Jeffrey Taylor gets into the back bumper of the 20. We'll watch right here. This is on board with the 23. The 20 there on the outside. He gets into the wall, then going into the corner. Yeah, the 23 just blows the corner there, drives in really deep, and unfortunately makes a little bit of contact with the 20. And that's all she wrote. Well, I've said this a couple times, but I keep harping on it, man. It's Jordan Schmitz really a beneficiary of all these cautions. This is playing right into his hands. I know Chris Davis had some contact, and he is back in 21st. And then Shane has really kind of been just in the hornet's nest on these restarts. But Jordan's been able to get away, and he's been leading this whole time after the stage break. He flipped the stage. He last pitted 58 laps ago. That's a long time. But he's driving laps under caution at the moment, and so he's able to keep the position. Kenny's not able to use his new tires. It's frustrating for those folks because Kenny would be leading had they gone green this whole time for sure, or at least one of the guys on the new tires. But these cautions allow Jordan to drive around. I mean, they're driving at 48 miles an hour around the track over and over again, and when we get to the stage, we get to 150, everybody's going to come down pit road and get tires. As you could probably make it to the end on fuel with 100 laps, or pretty darn close. So everybody going to come down, and he can maintain that track position. That is a huge win for him at the moment, and that's kind of where I'm watching. We got some drivers that have been making their way through the field. I mean, right now, Blaine Wilson, and I'm going to be honest with you, good looking paint scheme. Very, very nice looking scheme. Every time I see it on track, it catch my eye. I think it's a new one for tonight, but look at him. Started in 32nd position. They had not had a great qualifying effort, but currently running in 7th. So Blaine Wilson may be somebody we're talking about towards the end of this thing. Up 25 positions. Tim Wortman Jr., he is back here in 9th position, but he has gained 10 spots from where he started. They've got a little cam of Tim here. He's having himself a good race. Johnny Shade is up 12. Aaron Matthews, who we talked about in the point standings, who's had a bunch of has 3 top 5s on the season, now up to 13th position. So guys making their way towards the front, but all eyes right now on this leader. Jordan Schmidt, see if he can get away like he has. Going to go late in the box. He kind of felt like folks were starting to time it a little bit, and I think he kind of caught Kenny off guard there. As man, look at Matt Cox drive it really deep into the corner, and he's going to go for the lead here down on the inside. Kind of jumps over Kenny with that restart. I just don't think Kenny was ready for it. I think he was not expecting Jordan to go so late in the box, and Jordan gasses it up on the outside, and he's going to hold on to it for now. Going through turns 1 and 2, and you can see those old tires just really struggling through the middle of the corner. The 32 going to be able to take over that spot. So Matt Cox in that 32 machine with a great restart, took advantage of it. Now he's got the lead, and O'Kenny's like, dadgummit, I just got to the lead. Now I'm going to have to fight for it again. Jordan Schmitz, he is 17th in points. So this run so far, if he can stay up near the front, this would be a great day for him. But Matt now be able to get out to the front and get some of that clean air. We'll see how he can do with Kenny. Matt in top 5 in points, so he's no slouch, that's for sure, as he has got just 1 top 5 on the season, but a lot of bonus points, and that has allowed him to be inside the top 5. And, man, that dark horse looking pretty good out front. Oh, man, big contact back here as there's drivers going all over the place. Is the 8, the 93 making contact. The 93 basically pushing the 8 down the back straightaway there. Is, man, they're all over the place back here in the back. Almost 4 wide. Ryan Huff, after he comes down and got those tires early, has not been able to recover. But he is slicing and dicing 4 wide as we had 1 down on the apron. 79 of Shane Davis. Got fresh tires, and now he is on the offense, trying to get back up to the front. You can see those fresh tires really feeling good at the moment. That 79 machine looking strong. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact back here. Man, they are all over the place back here. Guys really having different lines. Some folks driving in a little bit deeper than the others. It looks like they're able to get it kind of wrapped up. Back up here in the top 10. Got the 83 of Tim Wortman on the outside and the 88 of Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders had dropped a few spots. We talked about him being back in the 11th position early, but starting to work his way back into the top 10. And I'm going to tell you right now, we talk a lot about the leaders. We talk a lot about some guys towards the back and people having issues. This is, while there's a lot of racing going on around the 20th position, I'm going to tell you, once you get inside the top 10, it is, I mean, you're making just very small incremental movements towards the front if you're faster. It takes every second, every tenth, every hundredth, every thousandth, every single lap to maintain these positions. So once you get inside the top 10, it is very difficult to race here because everybody gets faster the further you move up through the field. And so Barry doing a great job of moving forward here at the end of this run. 25 laps to go in this stage. He would love to get a top 5. But starting to get single file out as we look at Brandon Bakey and Alex Coffey battling side by side. Brandon almost gets to the outside, but Alex really gasses it up off of turn 4, and he is all over the back bumper of Blaine Wilson there in the 4th spot, who has made up a ton of spots since the restart. We really had missed that. I don't know how he missed it, but, man, he has really made up a crap ton of spots, and I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but I just said it. As here comes Brandon down on the inside trying to take over the position away from Alex Coffey. As they go door to door into turn 1. You can see that bottom just not able to get the run that he needs off the corner. See Brandon there trying to use that exit. See how much of a run he can try. He can almost get. Oh, almost makes a little bit of contact. Has to jump up to the higher line, but he's trying to enter in high and get the run off the corner. That is a short track driver if I've ever seen one. If you ever watch these guys run in the late models, that's exactly what they do because it's so freaking hard to pass. You need to set them up down the straightaway, and you drive in on the outside and then drive down off the corner. If you can keep the rear tires planted, that will give you a big run and give you that position down on the inside. Right now, position on the inside is Alex Coffey as he is trying to take over that 4th position. He's going to drive down to the inside of Blaine. Actually might clear him off the corner. We'll see if he's able to do it. And he does. So Alex Coffey back up to the 4th position. He's starting to move forward. He was an early leader in this race. I mean, he led a ton of laps, 66. And then Kenny was able to get around him, and then he kind of got stuck behind those guys who were on those older tires who flipped the stage, and he kind of got pushed all the way back to the back half of the top 10, and now starting to work his way back forward. You know he's got a lot of speed in that car, man. Look at Brandon down on the inside, driving it deep into the corner, trying to get that position away from Blaine Wilson. Some great battles going on all over the track. I can literally close my eyes and click on this scoreboard here, and we'll find a good battle here. I'm going to practice it right now. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to just click somewhere, and it's going to be a great battle. Here we go. I clicked. Look at that. A battle between the 79 and of Shane Davis on those new tires, and Tim Wortman Jr., who is all over the back bumper of Jeffrey Taylor. Jeffrey Taylor, excuse me. Wow. Having a stroke here live on air. I'm going to tell you right now, Tim Wortman is the fellow that I have been watching, and he has been really, really fast. He's got fresh tires behind him. Shane Davis got 30 lap fresher tires. Probably going to have to concede this position. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. And which I think is a smart move. A lot of folks won't make that move, but Tim, obviously, very high IQ, knows that I'm going to let this guy go. He's faster. He's got fresh tires. But what he'll do that I need to take advantage of is he's going to get up there and battle the guy that I was trying to pass. He's going to get him out of the groove and I can get in, follow him right in and take that position as he's trying to follow Shane up through here. And you see a little nervousness off of turn 2. But the 83 driving really smooth. Oh, man, getting loose, trying to keep up with Shane. That's a trap. Trying to keep up with him, gives a little bit too much gas off of 4, but he's able to hang on to it. And trying to get up to this 23. Couldn't quite. Oh, he's going to get a big run right here down to the inside. Here we go. Tim Wortman take advantage of it. Now he's to the inside. Now can he complete the pass? Something that's been we've seen be very difficult down on the bottom all race long. He looks calm. He's cool. He's collected. He's not stressing out. Down right on the bottom. He's been trying to get around Jeffrey for a few laps, but Jeffrey going to fight back on the outside. Tim gets a little bit loose there, and now you can see a little bit of frustration on the hopefully he doesn't have the broadcast up. You'll get some guys that have the broadcast up, and you'll hear them being talked about, and they lose focus. But, yeah, you can see he's a little frustrated there not being able to complete that pass. And he'll fall back and hang on to that 12th position. Somebody that's kind of falling back a little bit is that 18. He got up to the front, got up to 4th position, but has now started to fall back as here comes Randy Mullins, your points leader, trying to go around this 18 car. So I'm sure Blaine, he's going to try to fit into this little gap right here to stop the bleeding, not allow Barry Sanders, who, like I said, man, just doing a great job here. Doesn't want to let Barry get by him, but it looks like Barry is a little bit too fast at the moment. Blaine really starting to fall off because they only have 10 laps to go in this stage. Oh, they're going to make contact! And they save it. What a great save by Blaine Wilson as they make a little bit of contact. And Barry Sanders, what a great job. And I'm not going to single him out because he's the league admin, or at least the guy I've been talking to. But a fantastic job from him to get on the brakes and not continue to spin out Blaine Wilson. And what a great job by the 18 of saving that car and not going around. That could have been disastrous. And you could see the quality of drivers that are in this league. Moonshiners, what I found so far is these are some incredible racers, and that is just a testament of that right there. Is Blaine, anybody else would have gone around in that moment, and both of those drivers worked together to make sure that that didn't happen. And while Barry feels like he's a little bit faster, he does not want to make the pass that way. And man, what a great job. That avoided a caution. So take note, if you want to know how it's done, that is how it's done. So now Barry's going to go back on the attack and try to get this 18 before the end of the stage. As I go on board with Barry as he tries to. And I got to give him props a little bit. He's got that shifter down there. He's like the actual NASCAR drivers. It's a sequential shifter. So he kind of pushes it forward and pulls it back, pushes it forward to shift down, pulls it back to shift up. So he shifted up into 5th and then right back into 4th. Into 5th. Then shift it right back down to the 4th. If he doesn't shift into 5th, it seems like it's a waste to shift right as you go down into the corner. But if he doesn't shift to 5th, he's going to hit the rev limiter, and it's going to kill his speed down in the corner because you really drive down in the corner here. But you need that 4th gear to be able to drive off of the exits as he's trying to get position here on Blaine, but he's got Hunter Carmichael all over the back bumper of that 88 machine. You see him leaning. Look at Barry leaning over to the left as he goes down to the corner. I love it. Love to see it. Now he's going to go down to the inside, but Blaine has a little problem. They're going to make a little contact. Barry's leaning, and they're leaning on each other as they come off of turn 4. This is a battle for the 7th position. 3 laps to go in this stage, and every position is going to matter. He's going to drive it in deep. Blaine's going to try to hold him down off the corner. Not quite able to make that car stick right on the bottom. Struggling. But now he's got position on Blaine. We'll see if he can make the pass. And Hunter Carmichael just looking on. Nowhere to go as they continue to battle. As we got just a couple laps to go in this stage. And he's going to drive it in there, do a little slide job up in front of the 18. Good work as he takes over that spot. Then we go right up in front of these drivers. It is a little 3-car tandem, Alex Coffey and Brandon and Randy. And then up front, it is Matt Cox, who comes out of nowhere, been hanging around all race, gets the lead, and he is not letting it go. One more lap to go to the end of this stage. And he got some lap traffic up in front of him, but if he can get to the next, to the caution, once it comes out, as Kenny gets a little bit loose there trying to run him down. And that should be your stage win as he comes across. He'll cross lap 151, and we'll see when they throw the caution. Caution not out yet, so they continue on racing. We'll go back here, and there it is. There's your stage 2 winner. Matt Cox gets control of the race on that restart, gets up front, and never looked back. And Kenny got a little bit of competition up towards the front. So that was a very, very good stage. That was a lot of fun. A lot of good battles going on as they catch up to the pace car here. And Matt Cox will take the stage victory. Lord of mercy, if I look down into Beast Mode Performance Discord, there's a ton of folks in here. Over like half the top 10 is in Beast Mode, so we'll get Matt right after pit stops. We'll pull him up in the chat, talk to him about that. And it looks like he was teammates with Kenny. Jordan Schmeets as well. And where did Jordan end up? Jordan. Looks like Jordan is back. Kind of letting everything settle out here as they're down on pit road. 4 tires of fuel. Going to be the call for most folks. But Jordan Schmeets is going to come out. And honestly, while Matt Cox won the stage, I got to give a lot of props to Jordan here. Is that strategy could have gone pretty badly, as we saw a couple drivers have issues, but Jordan able to take advantage of it. Now he's got equal tires, and he's going to have a top 5. So Jordan right now is sort of the driver of the day. That was a great call, great execution to hold on to that top 5, and now he's actually going to be 3rd on this restart. So really impressive stuff. But I want to talk to, before we go green, I want to talk to Matt Cox. We'll get him up in here into the booth and talk to your stage 2 winner, Matt Cox. Eddie, in the booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, won't keep you too long, but man, what a great restart there. You're able to get by your teammate Kenny on the jump. Kind of was just in the right line to make it work, and able to get the lead away from Jordan Schmeets, who's able to kind of lead a bunch of laps with old tires under caution, and then you kind of set sail. Kenny kind of kept you in check, but man, that car looks like it's driving really good out front.
Oh yeah, out front you can't beat that. But yeah, both of those guys are fast. I'm surprised tires held on so long for Schmeets, but seems like track position is more important than tires this week. So we're gonna try and keep it out front.
Well, yeah, you've had a good season so far, sitting pretty good on points. But how bad do you want to win here at Richmond?
I mean, I want to win every week, but I'm not going to do anything crazy to try and seal it. So we'll just try and finish well. If we win, awesome. If not, on to next week.
Yeah, 100 laps to get this thing done. Tell me what's your strategy on this final stage to try to keep that 32 machine out front, but also keep the tires on it.
That's the key, right? I don't know. I will see, I guess. Play it by ear. Can't let anybody know the secrets.
There you go. They might be listening. Matt Cox says, well, he has got it going on right now, so we'll get him back to his room. But thanks for talking to us. So I'll have to get him into the right channel. Oh, I actually can't get him into his right channel as it's locked. So sorry, Matt. I'm able to pull you out of the chat, but I can't put you back in. So maybe somebody will hear me and get him back in the right channel. If Matt is listening, maybe he can yoink himself, but he'll be lonely if not. But he'll be out front for this restart. We'll try to get that fixed here soon, but he's going to be all alone at the moment into the Geico restart zone for this final stage, and Matt's going to be out here with a great restart. And Jordan, the 15 of Alex Coffey, going to take over the second position. Alex was very fast all race long, started to fade at the end of that first run, but he has gotten back into the second position, and now the battle's on for fourth as Brandon Bike. Look, man, really struggling with that name. We'll get with him. Somebody knows him in chat. Tell me how it's said so I don't have to sit here and dance around his name the whole time. But he is up, man. He's been fast all race long. And Alex Coffey going to get into the wall a little bit. Blaine Wilson gets a little out of shape there as Brandon all over the back bumper of the 15 yet again. Well, Matt starting to pull away. He's all by himself in Discord. Now he's all by himself on track as Alex and kind of check in here on Kenny Coppola, who was your stage 1 winner. He is back in the 5th position. He's fighting with Jordan Schmitz right now. That 77 has been fast all race long, and it looks like Matt Cox is able to get back into his channel. So, Matt, if you're listening, sorry about that. We'll try to get that fixed so I can move everybody next week. Jordan Schmitz way high up the track, and those are teammates, so obviously going to let Kenny go and let that 77 start to march towards the front. But look at the racing we got going on back here. Blaine Wilson, while he was up front before that caution, now he's in a dog fight back here. This is right around the top 10. And you can see Blaine Wilson, Aaron Matthews in that 5 machine. Now he's going to get taken 3 wide as Matthew gets a little bit loose. And here comes Chris Davis, somebody that we saw go around a couple times, I think, here tonight, but definitely stayed out on those tires and got spun. And now he is back in the top 10. Chris Davis not giving up here at Richmond. Chris Spear, I don't know you, but he helped me out. He got Matt back in his channel. We appreciate that, brother. We definitely don't want to get screw up racers, and I didn't know that I didn't have permissions, but he got him back, so definitely thank Chris Spear for getting him back in the right channel. Let's check this battle between the 23 of Jeffrey Taylor and Aaron Matthews. Jeffrey right now, the car looks a little out of shape. You see Nicholas Casey back behind, but Jeffrey's trying to hang on to this spot. The 23, we saw him involved in a couple contacts tonight. And I think if you come out of Richmond, you come out of short track with over 36 drivers on the field, and you don't make a little bit of contact, are you really racing? Are you really trying? You know, that's the question I have. I don't think you are. So if you had made a little bit of contact tonight, you know, you're probably either out front or not going to be in contention to win. So looks like the 5 of Aaron Matthews. We talked about him, consistent driver. Been sneaking up there in the point standings. And he continues to sneak up towards the top 10. And we talked to Matt Cox, your stage 2 winner. And, you know, obviously Kenny and Alex Coffey were the talk of the night. But Matt Cox, while he's not the points leader, he does have a win on the season. So he knows how to get to victory lane. His caution is out here. And it looks like Paul Whitley in the 74 machine has gone around. And, going to spin back up in front of a couple drivers as those rear tires were on fire. And Lord of mercy, that was scary. My heart dropped, swallowed my tongue. Let's go back and see what happened to the 74 machine here. He's got the, looks like the 82. 82 of Derek Pemberton behind him. What in the world? He might have shifted from, instead of going from 4th to 5th, I think he might have gone from 4th to 3rd. Let's check it right here. Can it get a little loose here? No, he doesn't. He just loses. That's the weirdest I've ever seen. He doesn't. Well, watch right here as he comes off the corner. On the V-Speed replay, he's going to get a little bit loose here. Going to save it. And then, yeah, it just comes around. He 2-foot smashes it, and then once he lets off, it just goes ahead and goes on around. Yeah, look at that right there. Woo, scary moment for those drivers as they almost got a car to the chin. So we'll have our, see what caution this is, 11th caution of the night. And get a little bit of breather. Get these guys caught back up. Looks like the lucky dog here of Derek Pemberton. We'll put him back on the lead lap. So the 82 has been fighting to get that machine back on lead lap. Finally does it here on lap 169 of 250. Where we're getting down to the end of this thing. And, you know, we talk on these longer races, you kind of talk about patience, and you got plenty of time, especially at the start of the race, the first stage. Hey, I got plenty of time to get to the front. I got plenty of time to be patient, take my time. But as we click under 80 laps to go, we are going to lose that quickly. That is going to go out the window. If we have a bunch of cautions, it's going to be take, little to no give. And the intensity only picks up from here. So if you're not where you need to be, Jordan Schmeets, honestly, is the driver of the day. If I have a, if I had to give it to anybody and I had a graphic that would say driver of the day, it would definitely be Jordan Schmeets. Oh, wait, I do have that. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. He has it. The race is not over yet, but I've just been impressed with Jordan and his that strategy call of getting the tires and holding on to that track position and not letting the tires, you know, take him towards the back. He was able to hold on to it and stay up near the front, and it all worked out for him. And man, coming away now, running in the top 5. He's up 29 position where he started. What a great call by Jordan, and it really worked out for him. So we'll see if he's able to maintain that position, maybe get up there and get a win. He's shown that he can be fast on 20-lap old tires. We'll see if he's got something on equal tires, currently running in 5th. The lights are out on the pace car, and man, I'm gonna tell you right now, for my first race in this, calling in this series, been incredible racing all night long. You know, for 36 drivers, 11 cautions might sound like a lot, but man, it's really not in iRacing terms. I think it's been really impressive to see how hard these guys have been racing and be able to keep it together. We'll see. That may not stand. We still got 80 laps. There's going to be a lot of cautions after this, but I've been really impressed with the talent and the quality of racers that they have here in Moonshiners Racing League. So pace car is off, green flag back in the air. Matt Cox going to get a great jump. He's going to pull Brandon along with him. And now the battle is going to be for second. I tell you what, Alex Coffey has really been a thorn in the side of Brandon here in the number 1. I feel like Brandon has been faster than Alex a lot of the night, but it's just Alex is so good at defending his position that the 1 just hasn't had an opportunity to get up there and take that position and see what he's got for the leader. And finally, as soon as I say it, Alex going to try the crossover, and the caution does come out. And we'll see for who. I'm not real sure, as the cars are kind of scattered all over the place. Don't see anybody slowed and stopped. As I do see, I can't see who that was. Paul Gallimore stops. We'll go back and see if we can find out what happened, what brought that caution out. Looking at the 11. Yeah, he gives the oh my goodness. Ed Bowles Jr. hard hit after contact with the 11. And looks like the 59 of Kyle Holden was involved. He's had a tough night. Let's go back and watch that one more time, and that was off the front bumper of the 11. Yeah, just gets in a little bit too hot, and man, the 38 just goes hard hit into the corner. We'll go. I actually want to go on board with him and watch it from his perspective and see what it's like to just get clobbered. Coming off the corner here, and he's trying to position himself. He's got a shallow entry. Yeah, I mean, the 11 just blows the corner. And, man, hard hit there for the 38 machine. Well, let's give you a little rundown of where everybody's running at the moment. I know you can read. It's on the left side of the screen. But, hey, everybody wants to hear their name on the broadcast, and I agree. I want to hear you. I want to say your name on the broadcast. So, right now, Matt Cox is your leader. You got Brandon, oh, man, Bakey is in second. He's going to be my first PM once his race is over. I want to get that right. Alex Coffey in third. You got Kenny Coppola in the fourth position. Jordan Schmeet's there in fifth. We talked about him. Randy Mullins, your points leader. What a great run he's had so far in the sixth spot there. And then someone we haven't really talked about, Hunter Carmichael in the seventh position. Barry Sanders in eighth. You got Chris Davis in the ninth position. Blaine Wilson in 10th. Jeffrey Taylor in 11th. Aaron Matthews in 12th. Nicholas Casey in 13th. Johnny Shade. That's a good-looking car. I like that. All right. I see you, Johnny Shade, in the 14th position. Shane Davis, saw him up towards the front, staying out under that stage. He's back in 16th. Garrett Crawford in the 16th position. Darren Mills, haven't said his name, I don't think, all night long, and he is having a great run. Up 13 positions. Started in 30th, now in 17th. Chad Sullivan, we've talked about him a couple times, been caught up in a few accidents. He's running in 18th. Car still looks good, though. Jared Clark in that UPS 69 machine, nice. Running in 19th. Ryan Huff was up towards the front, but, man, just had a rough night. He is in 20th spot. Darren Mullins, in 21st. Tim Wortman Jr. in 22nd. Derek Pemberton in 23rd. John Binder in 24th. Dean Motley is in 25th. Paul Gallimore, we talked about him in that last incident. He is in 26th. Wayne Bowen in 27th. Nicholas Atwood, 28th. And we're getting ready to go green. We'll go through the rest of the field. Paul Whitley in 29th. Kyle Holden in 30th. Nigel Christensen in 31st. And all these drivers, multiple laps down. Ed Boyles Jr., 32nd. Jamison Middle Miss in 33rd. 34th, Nick King. Warren Young has called it quits. And Caden Norfree has been sitting on pit road for about 35 minutes. So he is effectively out of this thing as well. Getting ready to go green. 70 laps to go as Matt gets a decent start, but man, Brandon there in that one car gets an even better one. He's going to drive really wide into the corner deep, trying to get that outside to work, but it does not work as Alex Coffey is going to get to the inside of that one machine. Now, Alex has really been a menace on the outside, so we'll see if Brandon can do the same. Not quite. Brandon was able to get that position back. So Brandon now up to second. This is the highest that he's been all race. And he's got the speed to win this thing. And Alex Coffey's going to stuff it into the wall there off of 2. Matt Cox getting away, and it definitely has been a tale of the way this has gone all night long. The clean air out front is just too strong. It is so nice to be out front. The car seems to drive really well as, man, look at just how many drivers are on top of each other here. Blaine Wilson running that higher line, making it work as he's going to get to the outside of Chris Davis and get the run down the straightaway. Chris going to try to get back around him, not quite able to do it. But Alex Coffey starting to put a little pressure here. not quite able to get to it, and he's doing that entry. Got to get a little bit of clean air on the nose on entry if you can. Get the run down the straightaway. He's going to peek down to the inside, show his nose. Oh, he's actually going to take it. Goes down into the inside. And I don't think Brandon really expected that. And Alex just dives it down in there and says, hey, I'm here. I'm going to take over that spot. Taking it back. I'm trying to get it back to the front. And now they're running side by side. It's going to allow Matt Cox to pull away a little bit and draw Kenny Coppola into the fight. Kenny with really nowhere to go, and it's too early to try to make a 3-wide situation, I would imagine. But Matt Cox going to continue to drive off into the sunset if Alex is not able to complete this pass. And got a Monopoly t-shirt on. I like that. But look at the focus that he has got on that face of the 15 car, but not able to make the pass. As now Kenny going to look up to the outside. And that's how quickly it happens. When you're so close in speed, you go from trying to make a pass to now you're defending as someone is all over the back bumper of you. But, man, what a great battle here. It's just so difficult to pass. And, man, you see Alex trying to open up his entry a little bit, but all that does, same thing that happened to Brandon. When you open up the entry, that allows the guy to maybe take a dive down to the inside and get you off your rhythm. And it's so difficult when you're trying to run somebody down to open it up. You see how wide they're going into the corner. But when you do that and someone's right on your bumper, they jump down inside and try to take position on you, and it's so difficult. Last time by, Brandon a little bit faster. Not much, but just a tad bit faster. He's going to start putting some pressure here on Matt Cox as we get down towards the end of this thing. You see he's opening that entry up, trying to get the run down the back straightaway off of 2. And Alex Coffey going to get a little bit loose there off of turn number 2. But, yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Open that up. And if he can do that, he gets a better run. But allows Alex to maybe poke a nose in there. That time by Matt. Going to be the fastest driver on the track as he's laying down some really fast lap times being out front. And we've seen that. We've seen Alex be able to get out front. He's been able to control the race. Kenny was able to get out front, control the race. But as you get back in traffic, it is so, I mean, I can't come up with a better word. It's gnarly how dirty air really makes it difficult. Kenny now trying to put some pressure. But, I mean, you know that even though he's going to take a dive, wow, that was a really late move there from the 77, but he's going to get down to the inside. But this is what I was about to say. You get down to the inside of somebody, but you know that it's going to take 4 or 5 laps before you can even complete the pass. Well, although Kenny looks really strong right here, but, man, Alex does a great job on the outside just defending that position. Little side draft from the 77, trying to yank him back. Does a good job 2, 3, and 4, but Alex able to gas it up. The high side off 4 is so good. But, man, Kenny does a great job. He's still there. We'll see if he can drive it down into the corner of 1 and 2 and make it work. Roll the center, but the 15, too strong, stays there. Oh, and Kenny's going to get loose. Oh, and what a save. Did he save it? He did. And everybody was able to get around him. Oh, man, and that is how hard you were having to drive to get around and make passes. Kenny, just that little bit of throttle, and they're driving right on edge. They're giving just enough throttle. The way that it works in that position on the bottom, he's really putting a lot of pressure on that right rear. And when he's got to give it, you know, if I had to give a percentage, he's got to give it 77% throttle. If he gives 78% throttle, he's spinning out. And so you're riding right. You have to give it 77 or you're not going to be up front. And he just gave it that little bit of extra, and she came around. But, man, what a great job to save it, man. We've seen some incredible saves here tonight, and a great job by everybody to avoid him as he's going to fall back to 6, but not out of this thing as we're having a really nice little green flag run here towards the end of this race. So happy to see that. Now, Brandon didn't do what I thought he was going to do, which is start working his way towards the front and actually not able to pull away from Coffey here as Matt is starting to stretch it out. This is the biggest lead I think anybody's had all race long, 1.4 seconds over Brandon here in second place. And he is going to have some lap traffic to deal with, but would expect them to kind of just move up out of the way or just kind of stay. Oh, actually, not real sure where he was going to go. He's going to lose about 4/10 there. That lap car trying to stay low and out of the way. That's 17 of Nigel Christensen. And I don't think Matt really knew where he was going to be. And so he had to check up just a little bit. So that will help those guys out behind him, but now they're going to go back side by side. This is your points leader, Randy Mullins, showing why he's the points leader. Get down to 50 laps to go. He's making a pass for third place as Alex is really fading at the moment. Alex going to try a little crossover here, but I think Randy has got the tires. We'll see if Alex makes a move here. He could have, but I think he knows that he's only hurting himself even more if he tries to go side by side again. That outside's just too strong. All right, we go back into the field a little bit. Got a battle. This is for the 10th position. Aaron Matthews inside the top 10. We got Chad Sullivan in that 21. That dark horse has been through HELL tonight, and he is trying to move himself up into the top 10. This is going to be a pretty stout battle for the rest of the race. See Barry Sanders back in 13th position. He's dropped a couple spots as these guys have really kind of ping-ponged back and forth, a lot of these right in this little group. And it starts with Blaine Wilson in the 18 all the way back to Ryan Huff in the 16th position. All these guys have been up towards the front, been towards the back. It has just been a tough night for some of these guys. Side by side, Aaron Matthews, Tim Wortman Jr. trying to make these passes. And here, man, Blaine Wilson now going to be under fire from the 21, as Blaine really doing a good job of defending. And I think where this kind of cluster of cars is coming through, because 18 is really struggling here late in the run. And what you're also seeing is a little bit of tire difference. Blaine Wilson has 51 laps on his tires. Chad Sullivan there in the 21, he's got just 35, and Tim Wortman with 28. So they got a little bit fresher tires. And what great battle. And you can see Blaine right on the door trying to defend the best that he can. He is under fire right now as he's got cars all around him. And Tim Wortman going to be able to take over that spot now, set his sights on the 21 as Blaine continues to fall back, because now Aaron Matthews is going to take over the spot. Tim going to get up on the outside. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact there between those two drivers. And Blaine going to finally be able to get down in line and stop the bleeding a little bit right around the 11th position. But this continues to be one of the better battles on the track. Aaron going to drive down to the inside, the 6 of Nicholas Casey, making that outside work pretty well here towards the end of this run. He has been up there a few times. Not really sure where to go here. Thought about going to the outside, but Blaine kind of entered in high, and then he was going to go low. He just was unsure about what line to take. You can see Blaine up right in front of him, not able to get the power down. You can see those rear tires really lighten up as it comes off the corner, able to get it woed up enough. But you can see just how good the 6 is off of the corner. We'll see if he's able to do the same thing here. He's going to get a run to the outside, try to get the spotter call on exit. Oh, man, he wanted to do it. He wanted to stick that nose in there, but he just wasn't sure if Blaine could make space for him. Wasn't willing to put that number 6 machine in jeopardy, but I love that move where he's trying to do. Blaine's going to get a little bit loose here off of 2. That's going to open the door down on the bottom. The 6 of Nicholas Casey trying to take over this position, but I love that move he tried to do. Get to the outside, get that spotter call, and make that guy give you room on exit. and that will likely give you the position. You'll see that a lot the rest of the season, I'm sure, trying to get those spotter calls, and Blaine going to fight hard, though, on the outside. That's where I think Nicholas Casey wanted to be, as you can see just how well that outside can defend and keep you from making that pass. Looks like this time off of turn number 2. Oh, Nicholas gets a little bit loose, but he will get that 11th position. They can start to move forward. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Cox, though, set and sail back up to 1.7 second over Brandon B. And it's been a really good drive. I mean, Matt has qualified in the 4th position, able just to kind of hang around one stage 2, and it has been all Matt Cox here on this final stage. And you're seeing the strength of this 32 machine, as nobody has been able to keep up. Now, Kenny, your first, the guy that I thought was going to be the guy to beat for the whole race, won stage 1, but then just kind of was stuck back in traffic, different tire strategies, and then you saw him get loose there earlier in this run, and he is trying to claw his way back up into a podium. He's got Randy Mullins right in front of him. We'll see if he can make this pass happen, but ooh, a lap car of the 22 there down on the bottom. That's Dean Motley. Dean pulls down to the apron. Oh, caution is out. Caution is out, and Aaron Matthews sitting on the track. We saw him battling back there around the 10th position, and Aaron Matthews, that top 5 total is not going to get added to here tonight. It does not look like, as he may end up going a lap down, just trying to make sure he doesn't have any issues. And boy, that's going to change everything about this race. Let's go see what happened to Aaron. Got the 93 behind him, got the 82 in front of him. And we'll see. Oh, I don't know. The 93 gets into him, but it honestly looks like the 5 kind of checked up a little bit too much. We'll see. Watch this from Ryan Huff's point of view. Down in the corner. Maybe the 5 was, I'm not real sure. That's a sort of a racing deal, but they make a little bit of contact. Ooh, Ryan Huff going to hit that. Oh, and a little bit of contact back there with the 5 sitting on the track. That's going to change everything. Everybody going to come down pit road, and Brandon going to take 2 tires here with quite a bit of laps to go. So I'm not really sure about this call. I think it might be a little bit too early for it, but he might be banking on there being some cautions, and he can maintain this track position. He watched Jordan Schmitz earlier in the race. Had a string of cautions there, and he was the leader. Got to get the jump, got out front. Caution would come out, and he'd ride around for 6 or 7 laps under caution. So that may be what he's thinking about. But Brandon takes over the top spot with a 2-tire call with just 30, a little bit over 30 laps to go. We'll be under 30 once we take the green flag. So I'd be curious, anybody in chat, what do y'all think about the call for Brandon to take 2 tires with just 30 laps to go? Is that the right call? I think he had plenty of speed to get a podium for sure. So apparently a podium not good enough for him. He wants to go for the win, and I like it. Leads his first lap of the race here under caution, and now it's all changed. We also have Shane Davis in the 6th position. Talked about him a little bit so far this race. He takes 2 tires. And so got some strategy calls towards the end of this thing. If it goes green to the end, I'm a little bit worried about the 2-tire call. The left side's really good in the middle of the corner on these tracks. You really, on entry, you need the right front. On exit, you need the right rear, or the rears in total, left and right. But the left sides are really good in the middle of the corner. And on an older set of left sides, you may not be able to roll it as good. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what 2 tires can do. I've seen 2 tires work at a place like Las Vegas. You could run 50 laps, put on a set of set of right sides, and that car is just as fast. So the next gen two tires works under some circumstances, so I'm going to be interested to see just how good he is. But he's going to get control of the restarts, and that's going to be the biggest thing. If you can get control of the race, clean air, Mike can make up for what he'll be lacking in left side tire grip. All right, 30 laps to go. We're getting settled in here. It's getting down to the end of it. We're just over 2 hours in this race. Them guys are tired. They're wore out. The necks are hurting. The shoulders are hurting. I've seen some of the guys on video. Some older fellas in here, I'm going to be honest. And that back starts to hurt. You start sweating. You're hollering at your wife, hey, turn on the fan. Turn on the AC. Bring me a bottle of water. It starts to get down to crunch time. And all that stuff starts to affect you. You think, well, I'm just racing a computer. It shouldn't affect me. It does. So we're going to see what Brandon can do here. He gets a great jump, and he is wanting to pull along the 54 to try to get down to the inside and fight that 32, but he's not able to do it. Matt Cox going to drive it deep into the corner, and Brandon not able to get it going in the 54. They're 3 wide for the lead off of turn 2. Matt Cox will take the lead. Oh, the 54 goes around Randy Mullins, makes contact, and a big wreck in the turn 3. Holy moly. Big wreck, and Jordan Schmeets involved. Chris Davis involved yet again. Your points leader goes around. The 24 of Nick King involved in yet another wreck. And oh my goodness. That was wild. Randy Mullins goes around. Let's take a look at that. There's a lot to talk about here. We'll see if we can get it. You see he's 3 wide. Go back a little bit more. Tried to make that move happen, and he makes a little bit of contact. Brandon says, I don't like that. And Randy just gets loose. He spins the tires once he tries to turn right. Yeah, I mean, just running in 4th gear. Man, that is wild. He goes down to the inside, trying to take the lead. Going to make a little bit of contact here, and the tires are going to break loose on him. And when it does, it is just all she wrote. Jordan Schmeets having a great run involved in that one, and that was a massive wreck. Let's go back to the initial start, and it looks like Brandon just did not get a great jump, or just the tires just didn't work down into turn 1. Gets a great jump, but watch right here as he goes down into turn 1. He just completely bottles it up. Yeah, you see he got loose going into the corner. Maybe brake bias a little bit too low. Goes 3 wide, and they door bang and allows Matt Cox just to drive into the sunset. And you see Alex Coffey there would contact him. Holy moly, what a save by Alex Coffey. We got to go back and watch that. There's a lot to watch on these replays, and I'm going to go back and watch this. Watch, is Alex Coffey going to save this thing? Going to get contact right here, and look at him. Cranked it all the way. Still spinning. Tokyo Drift in 3 and 4, and able to hang on to it, and look at him. He's going to maintain this position, too, in 4th place. Now, his tires are probably screaming at him, but, man, what a great save. Saved his race, that's for sure. Okay, somebody finally saved me in chat, and it is Sean Rogers. It is Bikey, Brandon Bikey. So we have been butchering that name all night long, but here with 25 laps to go, we got it. Brandon Bikey. So definitely appreciate Sean for that. And in my nightmare, his name is spelled S-E-A-N. He's going to say it's actually Scene or something like that. I don't know. But definitely appreciate him. Brandon Bikey. Well, Brandon definitely had a scary moment going into turn 1, and obviously he was just trying to make it work, and you don't know how 2 tires are going to react. You've been running on either old tires or 4 tires all race long, and going down into turn 1 on an unknown situation there, and he just gets loose, and that's kind of where all that started. So unfortunately for Randy Mullins, he's going to fall back to about 18th. But now Matt Cox has got the fresh tires, 4 tires, got the control of the restart. But Kenny Coppola back up to second. What's going to happen here? Boy, I'm excited to see how this thing is going to play out. Under 25 laps to go into the box. Matt Cox going to go early. And Brandon going to have that inside track, but Kenny has been so good on these restarts to make that top side work. And coming off the corner, he does as Alex Coffey slams into the wall again as Shane Davis on those 2 tires now going to look down to the inside, but we stay here on the lead. You can watch that in the distance. I'll give you a little wider shot so you can see all the action as we see if Kenny Coppola, and Kenny's going to get loose down into the corner, trying to catch it. He's saving. He's walking it up the track, into the wall, into Alex Coffey, and they're going all over the place again. Massive, massive wreck. This is the big one. What is this, Talladega? It is a track. I mean, it is completely closed. And Kenny Coppola just exits out as a massive, massive pileup after Kenny gets loose. And holy moly. And Kenny here he's just trying to make something happen. And now he's just he's sort of in a loop. And he can't get it going. And you see the 21 get run over from behind. And good God. I mean, guys just piling in. The UPS truck, number 69, I can remember that one for some reason, just comes piling in. And my goodness, what a mess. There's 100 different angles we could check out here. Go back and watch as the 21, he gets run over from behind. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure the 6 couldn't see where he was at. We'll see as the wreck's going to happen right in front of him. This is on board with Chad Sullivan. Here's the wreck right in front of him. He's checking up for it. Man, golly, what a horrible hit down on the inside. And it's just a track blocker. Good grief. The 15 of Alex Coffey backs down into folks, says, all right, I'm done with this mess. Well, man, this is very much like a short track race. Now it's just all anger, frustration. And that right there, I mean, you know, for Kenny, he was trying to keep up with Matt Cox, and he goes down in the corner and just gets loose. And once he got loose, it was him just trying to catch it the whole time. He was trying to catch it, and he gets up into the wall and then yanks it off the wall. When he does, the car just jerks left into Alex Coffey, and he goes around, and they make contact, and it really just checked up the whole field. But look here, Blaine Wilson. Blaine Wilson up into the 3rd position. Hey, let's go back and see how he got through all that. Watch it on board. Blaine Wilson, as look at him. I mean, threading the needle is putting it lightly. He does make contact with the 79, but watch right here. This is where Kenny going down to the corner. He's going to get loose. He starts chasing it. Drives it really deep into the corner. You can see, oh, and actually the 79 does the same thing. He gets loose. And Blaine gets in the back of him, and it's just bumper cars from here. And Blaine able to get through that wreck, and oh, God. He almost gets hit. Watch this. Oh! As Barry comes across the track and almost takes out the 18. Well, all right. We are doubled up, ready to go again. Brandon Bikey not feeling too confident about his tires. You know, he's going to have a lot of work to do, I think. but it's getting thinner and thinner up front here. I mean, a lot of good drivers were taken out in that one, and Matt, he's got to feel really good at the moment as he has been a little bit faster than most of these drivers up here. Just got to get a good restart here, and he should have this one in the bag, but you just never know. We've seen guys just spin out by themselves, get loose, and it's definitely possible. Gets a great restart there. Blaine Wilson gets down to the inside of Brandon, and it's going to be a battle for second place. Oh, the 69 is going to get loose. Big hit down to the inside. That's Jared Clark, and caution comes out again. We saw that developing on the right side of your screen. And you can see just a lot of damage on that 69 car. And he just trying to make it to the end of this thing. Obviously some damage. He's going to go up, make a little bit of contact with, it looks like the 12, and then once he gets back on the throttle, a tale as old as time. We've seen that all night. He's going to go around. Well, and this is the tough part. I mean, right now, if I'm Matt Cox, I'm feeling as confident as I felt all night long, and he has definitely been really, really fast. But he's got two tires on the outside, and he's got Blaine Wilson, who's been great tonight, but has not been as good as the top three has been. So Matt feeling confident, but these cautions, the way that they're going, it's very frustrating because you know that you're in a good position to win. There's very likely, unless Blaine just comes out of nowhere with some speed here that he hasn't been showing. Matt's got to feel really good about his position. But under caution, he would love to be out there just clicking off laps and getting to the end of this thing, because every restart he has to do is a potential for a mistake. So we'll see if he can get his second win of the season, or Brandon Bikey can make something happen with those two tires. We saw him get loose there a couple restarts ago when he had the lead. Has he been able to kind of get that under control, get a good restart? You know, and I've always talked about these restarts. It's always the leader has the control of the restart. He gets to choose when he goes. So it's a lot of power. It's a very good position to be in. That guy that's on the outside in second is usually the most disadvantaged driver, because the guy in third, he can get right to the bumper of the leader and follow him through. You can almost lean on his bumper. And so the guy on the outside of the front row on these restarts is really disadvantaged. And you just want to say, you know what? I've done all this. I've gotten this far. I think I'm going to try to jump this restart. And you just try to guess when the leader's going to go. You jump at the same time. Get a side-by-side restart. Get to the outside going into turn one and try to make it stick off the exit. You just wonder if that's possible. Now, the danger of that, if you jump the restart, there are one of two things going to happen. You're going to jump it, you're going to get a black flag, then that will definitely end your race. Or if he doesn't go and you go, and then you have to stomp the brake to get woed up so you don't get that black flag, and he takes off, and then you're in worse shape. So high risk, high reward for sure. We'll see if Brandon is willing to try something like that. But, I mean, a really good race. I mean, cautions are to be expected. I think we're at Martinsville next week, which will be – I've never seen a good race at Martinsville on iRacing, so it's going to be very similar probably next week, but that's the beauty of Martinsville. But we are side by side. Here we go. We're going to have a 10-lap shootout to the end of this thing. Who is going to come away with the victory? Who's going to win this thing? Is it going to be one of the top three? It's going to be Darren Mills, who's sneaking up there in that number 2 machine. Aaron Matthews going to get another top three. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Matt Cox, Brandon Bikey? Who is going to get the victory here tonight into the Geico restart zone? And Matt Cox going to get a great jump, and actually Brandon going to get caught sleeping just a little bit. He's got 3 wide, and here comes Aaron down on the inside. He's going to make a little bit of contact and pushes Blaine up the track. And Brandon Going to hold on to that second spot for now. What a wild move from Aaron Matthews. And he actually makes it stick. And Blaine Wilson, the big loser in that, as he gets pushed up out of the groove. But Aaron not able to make the bottom side work, even with 4 tires. And Brandon Bikey going to hold on to it. Here comes Blaine Wilson. He is not going to be happy about that. As we got 3 wide behind him. We'll see what happens right here. Blaine Wilson gets the run. He's going to go down to the corner. Gets loose. Not able to make the corner. I thought for sure we were going to see a little bit of love tap right there. A little rattle his cage. But actually struggled to get into the corner and got a little bit too loose. And now he's going to open the door for Tim in that number 83 machine. So now Tim going to get loose. No, somebody else. Somebody put oil after that massive wreck. I think some oil on the track off of turn 2. Well, man, how about Aaron Matthews? We talked about him and said that he has got a lot of top 5 finishes, 3, and he's been up at the front. And we saw him go around and said, yeah, he's probably not going to get that top 3 or another top 5 finish. And dadgummit, if he didn't do that, or he's not running in 3rd right now, we'll see if he can hang on to it and get another one. But now the battle is for the lead. Here comes Brendan Bikey. Where did he come from on these 2 tires and didn't know if he was going to be able to make it? But we got a battle for the lead here with just 5 laps to go. Brandon doesn't have any pressure out back. He's got Aaron about 0.8 of a second back, so he is in full-on attack mode. What has happened to Matt Cox? Has Brandon really been just hanging around all race long? Oh, they drive really deep into the corner. Here we go. Matt Cox going to open the door. Can he make it stick? Brandon Bikey is there. Down on the inside, almost make contact, coming off of turn number 4. 5 laps to go. And Brandon Bikey on 2 tires now to the inside of your leader, Matt Cox. Can he make it stick? That's going to be the tricky part. We've seen guys go down to the inside, not been able to make those passes. But here we go. Battle for the lead with just 5 laps to go. Can Brandon make it work? Off the bottom, struggling to make that car work. But he stays there. He's going to lose the spot as Matt's going to get the run off of turn 4. But Brandon has been really strong. It's just the fact that the inside line is not as good as the top side. How is Brandon going to make this work? He's going to need all 4 of these laps, now 3, to make it happen. How is he going to do it? Is he going to use the bumper? These cars can take a good beating. Matt Cox shows the inside, saying, you can have it if you want it, and I'll just win the race from the outside line. Brandon down to the inside. Aaron Matthews looming in the distance, waiting on these guys to get side by side again, maybe make a little contact, and he can jump up there and take the win. 2 laps to go now. Brandon right to the back bumper. Does he have enough time? He's running out of time. He's going to have to make some sort of move as he blinks out. Going to drive down into the outside of 3 and 4. Going to get a big run here. This is his last opportunity. Down into turn 1. He's going to get a massive run down the front straightaway. He's going to take the dive. Down into turn 1. Can he make it stick? Matt Cox drives it deep into the corner. White flag is out. Here we go down the straightaway. Brandon falling back just a little bit. Last opportunity. What's he going to do? Matt Cox drives it deep into the corner. Brandon not going to be able to get to him. Matt Cox going to come off of turn 4, and he is going to win here at Richmond. Holy moly. Wow. Woo! Man, wake up the neighbors. Fireworks are going off. As, wow, what a finish. Brandon Bikey made it an exciting run there on 2 tires, and the fireworks going off as Matt Cox is your winner here tonight. Takes home the checkered flag. Holy crap. Man, I'm sweating up here in the booth as that was incredible. What a great finish to a long but very good race all the way around. I can't wait to talk to these drivers, see what they thought about it, and get their opinions on the way that ended up. Man, what a great drive by Matt Cox, your Stage 2 winner. It takes the victory. And he'll get win number 2 on the season. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a short break. VSRN this season is sponsored by Premier Racing Setup, so we'll give them a little love, and we'll come back for some interviews and results right after this. Alrighty, we are back, and man, goodness, that was a very, very fun race. Man, let's see where everybody ended up. And we talked about a lot of folks here tonight, and there was a lot going on. 16 cautions, 7 lead changes, 250 laps though in the books, and Matt Cox going to take home the victory. Brandon Bikey going to take over second place with a great drive and a great opportunity to try to get that win. Just came up a little bit short. Aaron Matthews, I mean, can't wait to talk to him. Had so many top fives, 3 top fives so far this season. They're going to get number 4 after a great drive back up through all that mess, and what a recovery for him. Tim Wortman been up front all race long, back and forth to get a 4th place finish. And a great drive for Alex Coffey after that incident with Kenneth to come away with a top 5. Blaine Wilson holds on for 6th place. And Nicholas Casey in 7th. Randy Mullins, your points leader. Rex there towards the end comes back for an 8th place finish. That's what you got to do. Darren Mills is going to come away with a 9th place position, and John Binder going to be in 10th. 11th going to be Johnny Shade with Ryan Huff in 12th. Hunter Carmichael in 13th. Chris Davis in 14th. Barry Sanders in 15th. Shane Davis in 16th. Jordan Schmeets in 17th. I mean, it's definitely disappointed. I think he had a great run. Really stinks to see him involved in that wreck. I think he had kind of carved himself out a pretty good finish, but comes away with 17th. Jared Clark going to be in 18th with 19th. Paul Gallimore with 20th. Dean Motley. 21st going to be Wayne Bowen. 22nd going to be Garrett Crawford. Paul Whitley in 23rd. Holden, in 24th. Nigel Christensen in 25th. Kenny Coppola. I mean, what a disappointing finish for him. Going for it, trying to get that win. Going to finish in 26th though tonight. Chad Sullivan in 27th. Jamison Middlemiss in 28th. Nick King in 30th. 31st going to be Jeffrey Taylor. Darren Mullins in 32nd. 33rd, Ed Boyles. 34th, Nicholas Atwood. 35th, Caden Norfrey and Warren Young. Rounds out your field in 36th. Well, can't wait to talk to these drivers and see if maybe we can get them up into the interview booth. We'll try to drag them up in here. We'll see if we can't find Matt and get him up into the waiting room. And we'll try to see if we can find... We're missing Brandon, and we'll get Aaron Matthews up in here as well and try to talk to some of these drivers. And we're going to start with your winner. The winner tonight, Matt Cox. Man, what a great finish, dude. That was a tough race. It was definitely not easy by any stretch. You got that stage 2 win, and it was just, man, it was calamity behind you. But Brandon takes those 2 tires. How nervous were you? I mean, he got loose going into the corner, but once he took those 2 tires, how nervous were you he was going to be able to take that clean air and run away with it? How did you feel whenever you came out of pit road, you were in second?
Listen here, Eddie. I'm the best there is. I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence. Okay, these guys can't touch me. I'm kidding. I'm just joking. That was a lot of fun. Super nervous when he took 2 tires there. I knew I was going to send it 3 wide into the corner or up to the top in the corner and try to get a run off. And yeah, he did get pretty loose there. Ended up wadding up a bunch of cars, which gave us the lead. So stinks for a lot of people. I mean, he kept me honest there at the end too, though. So I mean, he still had some speed. But yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting race. I mean, you got around him after he got loose, and man, that was a scary moment. And you had to feel like Superman going around the outside, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I had to lead, and
Yeah.
and then obviously there at the end, he started to kind of run you back down. Were you surprised how fast he kind of came alive there at the end and was running you down? The last 5 laps were incredible between you two. Were you surprised by that, or were you taken aback, or what was tell me what was going through your head there during those last 5 or 6 laps?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised because I know Brandon's fast and I know 2 tires works. But my only thing I was thinking is just don't give him the outside. Don't give him a chance to get on my outside because I knew if I was on the outside, I could pinch him down if I needed to. Luckily, I didn't need to. We raced it out pretty clean and ended up getting the win.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to watch, and we saw you constantly, go to the outside. Say it's almost inviting, like, "Hey, man, just go take the inside." No big deal. It's all yours, brother. Just take it, knowing that especially off of turn 2, that it was going to be difficult for him to hold it down, and especially in 4, you were strong all night long, and that outside seemed to be pretty stout, especially later in the run. But I'm still learning everybody. I don't know everybody's driving styles. Were you worried at all? Were you even considering that Brandon might try to use the bumper there at the end?
No, I wasn't worried about him using the bumper at all, really. He races pretty clean with me. I mean, I try to race clean with everybody as best I can. So yeah, no worries there at all.
Well, that gives you win number 2 on the season, and tell you that kind of separates you into a different echelon of drivers. Early in the season, we still got a long way to go, but man, 2 wins, got to feel really good. So just congratulations. It was a lot of fun to watch you race, especially that second half of the race just came alive and you're able to stay out of trouble and get the victory. So congratulations on the win, and man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank? Who helps you get around the track?
Yeah, I mean, I just thank all my teammates for bringing me in the league. We have a lot of fun. Thank the wife for putting up with me and letting me race Wednesday nights, giving me a night off from dad duty. So that's always good. And then obviously Barry and everybody who puts the league on. It's really fun, having a good time this year, and hopefully we can get some more wins.
All right, well, there you have it. Your winner here tonight, Matt Cox, takes that number 32 machine to victory lane. And we are going to get caught up with our second place finisher, Brandon Bikey. Well, Brandon, I butchered your name all night long, and finally somebody in chat, Sean Rogers, come to my rescue and got you fixed up, so definitely apologize for that. But we got it now, and boy, I tell you what, you were one of the most exciting drivers all race long. Tell me a little bit about your race. We talked to Matt already with the stage break, so tell me about your race. How was it from start to finish?
It was a lot of fun. I'm not a huge fan of Richmond. I only ran it once this past week in the officials. It's a lot of follow the leader, but this group made it pretty fun to race. And, there was a lot of different pit strategies going on. People, pitting before the stage and staying out and things like that. So it made it interesting and fun to get by. I drifted back a little bit kind of after the first stage just because I just kept getting caught behind Brex, and I just, was lifting to not get in it. So I got my way back to about 10th or something, and then I had to work my way up, and that was challenging because it is tough to pass, but it was a lot of fun. You probably saw, I tried to grab 2 tires there on the last pit stop, and it got me out front, and I had a huge lead. And then it makes you a little bit looser, and I just lost it getting into turn 1. So I'm sure that was entertaining, but I didn't feel too good on my end because I know there was some cars wrecked kind of from the checkup from that. So I feel bad for all the people that were involved in that.
Well, you have to try something because Matt is going to have control of the restart. It's going to be difficult. So, I like the call. I think it was a good call. Was it the fact that you were surprised how loose it was, or was it the fact that you knew you had to get on and get gone and you drove it in a little bit too hard, or was it just a combination of the two?
Well, no, I knew it was going to be a little bit looser, but I expected the loose off. Really, I didn't expect loose in. So I was hitting the brakes like I normally would getting in, and I have my brake bias pretty low anyway, so it just turned it sideways immediately, and I was just praying that I didn't just wad up the whole field, and it looked like it kind of did, but I feel terrible for those guys. But I did need to get out front. Matt is so fast. Congratulations to him, and it was a lot of. He's a teammate of mine, so a lot of fun racing him there at the end. And I wasn't going to push the issue too hard, but I wanted to make it interesting for everybody, and I really did try to get the win there. I just he was a little bit quicker up top than I was on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there at the end, just to kind of highlight that, and then we'll let you go. But it was really interesting to see how much you came alive there at the end of that race. And, you worry that two tires not going to, be good enough. But it seemed like you were able to get back to him. And he was defending the top pretty well. Outside of trying to sneak your nose up to the outside of his right rear quarter off the corner. Is there anything you could have done? I mean, of course you could put the bumper to him or slide down, go to the inside and just shove him up the track. But is there anything else you could have done to try to make that win happen?
Yeah, without getting into him, I really don't think so. He was not going to let me up high. I would have had to be real tricky doing that, but I felt like I know I was faster at the end there with those two tires, just because the track gets tighter as the night went on. So I felt like two tires would get me right in that perfect zone, and it really did. I felt I ran the fastest laps of the race of my race at the end there, so it was definitely quicker. But I just at the bottom just wasn't eating, like the top was, especially late in the race there. So he did the right thing and did what he needed to do to win. And it's like I said, it was a ton of fun racing him. He's clean, super clean. I was going to keep it super clean, obviously. And we had a good race.
Yeah, well, man, great job. Great race all race long. You're up there battling it out inside the top 5, and you look like you're having a lot of fun. So second place, a great way to finish after a lot of folks ended in pretty big heartbreak. So congratulations on that. And as always, man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank?
All right, Eddie. Well, first off, thank you. I heard there were some people on my team that were listening to the broadcast, and they said it's amazing. So very excited that you started broadcasting for us. Can't wait to listen to it back. So we'll definitely want to thank you. I want to thank all my teammates at BMP, Middles, the Davis brothers, Schmitz, Gallimore, Taylor, Chris James, the Atwoods, Dean Motley, Matt Cox, obviously, Chris James, Kenny Coppola. He's the one that runs all the setups for us and makes the setups, and he's just a guru. He's awesome. So he built setups for Team Watson Racing, so I want to shout that out. And then to my family, my dad watches a lot of these things. He's been going through some health stuff, so just want to shout out to him. And my wife, she supports me doing this night in, night out. So I love her for it. And again, appreciate you guys and Barry Sanders putting on the league. It's a great time out here. As you guys could see, it was a lot of fun to race in and come out and join us.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there you have it. Second place, Brandon Bikey tonight takes a runner-up finish, but man, what a great run, and especially a great race to the finish. Well, one guy that's been patiently waiting, third place, Aaron Matthews. Aaron, this Eddie in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, well, you had, Matt and Brandon, they kind of had, I'm going to be honest with you, they were boring racing. They were up front the whole time, but you not boring at all. You were sideways, you were backwards, you were at the front, you was at the back. At one point, I said, towards the end of the race, I said, well, Aaron Matthews' streak of top 5 finishes, or, he's got three on the season, trying to go for 4. I said, he's not going to get it tonight. He's at the back, he wrecks, goes around, and that's it for Aaron Matthews. And dadgummit, if you didn't come home with a third place finish, how in the hell did you do that?
Well, I was listening to the stream, and I was listening to all that, and I thought, I'll make a liar out of Eddie. I'm going to. No, it just it all worked out for me just right. I did get in a couple of wrecks, had some run-ins and whatnot. Struggled with the car a little bit. Got it lined out, got some damage fixed. Had to let go my way and picked them off here and there, and here I am with 10 laps to go with fresh tires, sitting in 5th. And I started picking them off.
Yeah, I mean, you made a wild move, probably the wildest move of the night, taking it 3 wide down into turn 1. You didn't stick it because it didn't want to come off of turn 2 there 3 wide, but you did gain a spot from it. Tell me about that. I mean, what was the thought that goes into just diving it in 3 wide, knowing that you're not going to be able to make it through the corner, but just doing anything you can to try to make those spots up? What was the thought going into that 3 wide situation?
Just do the best we can do and not wreck the field. That's it's pretty simple. Just don't wreck the field. Do the best we can do here.
Well,
I knew I had fresh tires, but I didn't loosen it up enough for that short run. Just trying to get every spot I can possibly get.
Well, you definitely did that, and that was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, tell me as far as setup wise, what were you struggling with tonight? What were you fighting? Did you make any adjustments as the race goes on? You know, kind of what was the 5-car really dealing with here tonight?
Oh man, Reaper Speed Labs, they put out a great setup. You know, I got to thank those guys for the setup they put out, and it was all my fault. I just didn't chase the track like I should have, and I just didn't loosen it up enough.
Well, hey, at the end of the day, you come away with a 3rd place finish, so that joker must have been fast. And Aaron Matthews is going to get another top 5. Just incredible what you've been able to do, and that's a way to fight there at the end. So congratulations on that 3rd place finish, and man, who you got to thank here tonight?
Oh man, I got to think all about Sheet Metal Bad Boys Racing. I'm going blank tonight. Warren and Barry and Chad Sullivan and of course Reaper Speed Labs, all those guys.
All right,
and you for the broadcast.
Well, we appreciate that. Well, thank you for the interview. Thank you for patiently waiting. I know 3rd place is always the worst because you have to wait the longest, but we definitely appreciate that. And that was Aaron Matthews, comes home in 3rd place with a great run, and especially a great run to the finish. And he comes away with that final podium spot. Oh my goodness. Well, if you didn't have fun, I don't know what to tell you. That was a lot of fun. It was great racing, and Matt Cox comes away with the victory here tonight. Want to thank our race sponsor for tonight. That's the D's Lug Nuts Podcast 250. So check them out. Appreciate them sponsoring this race, and OB Builders for sponsoring the Cup Series. That's new, apparently, this week. So new broadcaster, new sponsor. Can't beat that, OB Builders. And we'll get some more information on these sponsors so we can really shout them out and talk to them, talk about what they are, what they're about, give you that full scoop. But that's going to do it for me. I'm Eddie Smith, man. That's been a blast of a race. Thank these guys for bringing me on. Honestly, it was a really exciting race, and was glad to be able to call it. Next week, Martinsville, man. Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be tough. You put 36 drivers on Martinsville, it's going to be some tempers flaring. There's going to be all kinds of WWF action after the race. You know, if you got a post-race fights channel, it's going to be lit up after that one. But come on out and watch it. It's going to be a sight to see. And go ahead and pop you some popcorn, pull your blanket up. We might be here for a while, but we're going to be here for the whole 250 laps at Martinsville and see it all the way through. And you see we've got Texas right after that, and then Talladega on April 24th, and Dover. Oh, man, some really good tracks as we hit the home stretch here, or the middle part of the season. Dover, Kansas, Darlington, Wilkesboro, Charlotte. Oh, my goodness. Love it. So stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to call some really good racing. We're going to keep it going, keep the intensity up, and appreciate y'all. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. This is V-Speed Racing Network. Go over our parent channel, V-Speed. They do a lot of action. They broadcast 7 nights a week. Go check them out. Subscribe to them as well. And as always, man, we'd love to hear some comments. We're brand new. We try to get everybody's name right. We want to hear what you like, what you don't like, you know. I can take criticism. Let me know what you like, what don't you like, how I can improve for y'all. I like to tailor everything to everybody, so we appreciate that. But thank y'all very much. Thank all the admins, and thank y'all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week as we take on Martinsville. Paperclip.